Mm-hmm.
With me is the great Alyssa Faden and the wonderful Anna B. Meyer. Good evening. Hopefully you're all doing well.
Yeah.
1 a.m., baby. You got it, Naz. There you go. But it's the weekend, so
Thank you,
yeah.
Tim, for coming
Yes.
here at midnight or past midnight.
Yeah, we still talk about Tim. We still talk about that the big bad and how bad we were during that
Mm-hmm.
5e competition.
Oh
How
God,
awful we were, all of us, including.
we missed the whole point
The
was
whole
to
point of it was
do it quickly, and
yeah.
we didn't do that.
Yeah. So tonight, by request, Anna, why don't you discuss what the topic is and how we're going to go
Well,
through
yeah,
this?
people have always asked us many times, like, what do our workstations look like? What kind of computers do we have? What kind of tools do we have? And how do we go about doing it? And we've talked a lot about the end result and a little bit about the tools and stuff. But now I thought let's get it out there and kind of show you guys what our workplaces look like and what our computers look like, and then dig deeper into the actual get from the start, so to speak, to especially the first bits. I think I'm kind of curious to eager to tell people, like, inspirations, basic ideas, and how you go about starting a project and getting into it. So, and I'm very keen to see how Alyssa is doing a lot of stuff, that because I have my hang-ups, and I'm kind of curious to see if Alyssa is sharing some of them or if she has different ones. So yeah. So that was the basic idea.
Yeah, Papa, you do have the hype one. There you go. You got that. You're a subscriber.
Yeah.
You can use that hype one. So yeah, let's hear your thoughts here.
My thoughts on the setup. I actually think that Anna and I are going to be a little bit different. Anna, does 3D rendering and stuff, needs like lots of computers, lots of horsepower.
Yeah.
I need horsepower, but in a different way. I'm drawing on a tablet. I need a single program to be able to perform now for huge map sizes, and typically thousands of labels, right? Look at a Gaslight map. These things push my computer in a different way than Anna's. I don't sit there and do any processing for like overnight or anything like that. And nor will I ever. It's not my gig. But what I do need is, when I swipe on my map, I need it to respond now and not have a 12-second delay. Like right now, the Gaslight map, I swear I'm almost breaking even my current computer. When it opens, I have to sit there for a minute and have it open. So I think Anna and I are in a similar world. I think we need similar machines, but for different reasons. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what Anna's got.
Yeah.
I think this will be a good discussion, just because I know that we have a lot of individuals out there who really enjoy making maps on whatever level. With Incarnate, whatever program they're using,
exactly,
and want to get into it a little bit more. And there's nothing wrong, just seeing what the experts use.
Yeah, and please ask questions and so on in chat. Whatever.
Plus, we will have some Greyhawk updates, I promise.
Yes.
Let me start out with this. I'm gonna hit this. I got to do this now, so I don't forget. Because if I forget later, I'll be upset about it. Noon tomorrow, CDT. What's up? What's up, Kafir? Noon tomorrow, CDT. Signups for events and Virtual GreyhawkCon start. You have to be registered. I wouldn't register right then and go in. I would register early. I would get in there, register. It's a $5 nominal fee just to cover the costs. But there are, I think we're up to 60 events, 61 or something like that. So it's at noon tomorrow, Central Time. It'll come up and you'll all be able to sign up for all the events that you want to. So it's exciting and going to be a fun time. And Anna's actually got a game with 2 open slots on a Sunday morning. So there's some really neat things coming. So just note that. All right. Okay, how do we get started on this? I got some stuff scrolling through, which is good, but the giveaways.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Mike Disney's raiding in again. Mike, oh my gosh. 3 times in a row, Mike. Wow. Dude, that's really kind of you, Mike. Yeah. Wow, man. You caught the fancy mapping show. Caught me off guard there. Mike, good to see you and your whole crew that came in. And I just sit tight because tonight it's 2, not 1, but 2 $25 gift certificates for our sponsor of the Fantasy Mapping Show, Frog Guide Games. Let me set that up real quick here and hit one button without crashing the stream. And exclamation point drawing will get you going on that. It should be working now. And Mike, it's great to see you. And hey, Taryn, see you too. It's fantastic. Let me shut you both out again. So yep, and there we go. So Alyssa Fadenheim, my username is the gentleman that was the gentleman thoughts before. Glad to see you on Twitch again.
The gentleman's thoughts. He is such a cool guy. When I used to stream out on my own, he would come in. I'd be like, "Oh, it's a gentleman's thoughts, don't you know?"
Cool.
And he just became a thing in my channel. He's a wonderful human being.
Awesome.
Hey,
Awesome.
man.
Welcome.
Welcome. We just
love to
followed.
you.
They're good to see you. And you will be really happy. All three of us and Zach Glazer from Frog God Games are going to be playing in a Call of Cthulhu game right here, same time next Friday, with Matt Ryan game mastering for us, which is going to be awesome. So, all right, so setups. This is more of the community wanted to see this.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Anna, I thought this picture below me was upside down, and I realized that's underneath.
It's not upside down. And I want to tell because that's the geekiest thing I have in my setup. So I wanted to. That's why I took a special picture.
All right, so let's do this. We'll start here, and we'll go and we'll open up Anna. We'll open up yours first here.
Sure.
How's that sound? Then we'll do Alyssa's. Talk about them, because I know Alyssa's interested to see the main differences. And I hear, let me move this to the right scene over here. Desk one is here we go. So why don't we describe what's going on in this?
Yeah. By the way, I just want to quickly jump in. The first thing I saw, the pedals.
Yes.
That's the first thing I saw. It has nothing to do with mapping.
And no, exactly. I have a dual purpose desktop because I don't. The house is not that big, and I wanted to, since I have these powerful computers and I have a hobby of flight simming, so aviation has been a big part in my life, and I want to stay in touch with it. And flight simming is the way I do it. And I go to air shows, and occasionally I do some flying too, but it's only sitting in the passenger seat, so to speak. So doing flight simming is one of my main hobbies, and then I can use, because I need the same computational superpowers both for doing maps and flight simming. So it's kind of, I can dual use. That's mean I need to have a desk, and I have a desk that you can lower and you can raise it up, so I can stand up and work, or I can sit down and work. And when I'm flight simming, I put it up a little bit. And I also wanted to have something that could fairly quickly, that I could convert from work to hobby in like 5 minutes. So what I've done is that I've bolted my joysticks and my HOTAS controllers and all that stuff under the desk, so it's hanging from the desk. So I bought one of these chassis online from a manufacturer that they're up and down. First, I bought one that I thought was going to be more than enough, and people who know me on Facebook, so that was like a desk Mageddon 4 years ago and 5 years ago when I built it, and it fell apart. So then I bought simply the Rolls-Royce model that is supposed to take a ton, and I put it on, and I weighed everything. It's like 260 pounds of stuff bolted to the desk. So it's kind of, and I don't have the computers on the desk because they weigh another 100 pounds. So the computers are on the left and on the right of the desk, so to speak.
Okay.
And so and then in the middle I have 3 30-inch screens. So those are my main. So I basically have the main screen in front of me, and then I have the left one where I usually have things like social media. I'm using it. That's where I use my second computer where I have my webcam and stuff like that hooked up to. And then on the right, I usually have reference stuff and so on and so forth. And there is a small screen in front below the main monitor in the front. That's my Wacom 16-inch that I can use my pen and draw on. It's like the poor man's version of the cool stuff that Alyssa has, the Rolls-Royce model of that one. I have the cool little cheap model for small things. And I also have a small Intuos Wacom, just a tablet without a screen in, that I can put in my knee and or just have on the desk and draw and look at the main screen. That's what I usually do when I use the map. So that's the basic. And also I have my VR headset laying on. It's hang on a second. Let me first. I can post the.
I have other pictures here too. I have desk 2, desk 3. If you want me to bring them up.
Yeah. So show them the other one. I'm going to post. I have 2 computers. I'm going to post the here, I'm going to post the whole shebang in here. So here is the whole hardware list.
And it doesn't believe in dusting.
No, exactly. It's kind of, you have to yeah, don't. And I cleaned that up a little bit for the pictures, but bear with me. This is
did we ever get to the heart of the upside down mouse though?
Almost.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. So, yeah.
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah. So awesome. There is the long list of stuff. So I have two computers. The main one is an Intel Xeon Skylake. It's an 8-core
How old
CPU.
is it?
It's from 2017.
Right,
so
but it has but it's 30. Yeah. It's 3080 Ti, which you got recently.
Oh yeah, exactly. I upgraded the. I used to have two older ones, so to speak. I used to have the Titan X used to be in the main one, 2 of them actually, but I switched that out, and now I have a 3080 Ti,
which is better than both them combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not, and I have a 1 terabyte SSD and 30 terabyte of hard drive in my main computer. The second one is an Intel Core i7 5820. It's 6-core. 5th generation, so it's kind of old. It's I bought it 2016, so it's like 2014 2015 technology, and it has 64 gigabyte of RAM, and now I have the NVIDIA Titan X, the 1080 graphics card. It was the beast of a graphics card back in 2015 2014, something like that. It was the best money could buy in graphics cards back then. And then I have the connected stuff. That's where that little picture, upside down picture came in.
Here it comes.
Yeah. So it's when I do flight sims, I realize that in VR you want to use your mouse buttons, but the problem is that I don't want to have to let go of my joystick and start fiddling around looking for my mouse. So I bolted or I glued a mouse upside down just above my throttle, so I can reach my mouse buttons inside the cockpit without having to look around for it and stuff. So I can use the left and the right mouse button because some of the flight sims required that. And the scroll wheel is the key one, because that one has a scroll wheel. So I can actually touch little dials and stuff. I can just look at a dial and then I can just use my left hand and just fiddle with little buttons and stuff. Yeah. So that is an extra mouse that I can plug in and use when I have my when I do my
what's this 2-button thing here? What's this? Is
Oh, that's actually that's actually the buttons to raise and lower the desk.
Oh, okay.
It's just bolted under. And it looks kind of ugly because what I did was that I bought the chassis online, and then I just went to Home Depot and bought the thickest plywood, one big piece, and that way, because it cost $50 instead of 500, and then I can drill in it and I can screw things in it, and if I screw it up, I can just buy a new one for $50. So that's why it looks so cheap and dirty, so to speak. So yeah.
So wow. Yeah. Okay.
So that's my basic setup, so to speak. So
basic. No, basic. Anything but basic, right?
Yeah.
So here
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna. Here's my question. That all that you discussed. Cost. Guess.
When I buy, probably about $25,000-$30,000 at least. Yeah, I think at least. I think each computer was, when I bought them, about $6,000, and then all the monitors are like $1,500 each. The joysticks is probably $5,000 because they are the coolest too. It's a Thrustmaster HOTAS, but I had them rebuilt with Hall sensors and titanium even strain gimbals.
Right.
And those even strain gimbals are $2,000.
Look at this thing. Oh my gosh.
And it's simply because it's professional quality sensors in them, meaning they are as good as the ones sitting in real flight sims. They're professional grade flight sim joysticks now. Yeah, they originally weren't, but the gimbals and the whole sensors and stuff, they have been gutted out and rebuilt from the ground up. And the pedals are the MFG Crosswind version 2, and they cost $1,500 or something like that. But it's that they last a long time. I've had them for 6-7 years, but they are and the joysticks are 15 years now. So they're still really good.
Nothing like realistic. Yeah, I mean, that's listen to the flight sim people. They take it seriously, don't they?
Oh yeah, exactly. It's
like
hobby.
If you're gonna do it right.
Yeah,
I'll say. Yeah. Thanks for wondering.
So that's my
wow,
hobby, so to speak. And we have some pictures in. I was going to talk about it a little bit because that ties into my mapping too, but we take that later.
Yes. Yes,
So that's
absolutely.
my my setup.
That's
so
your
to speak.
initial setup. Then we have an
Mhm.
experimental one we'll talk about. Let's get
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's get to Alyssa's here.
Yeah.
All right.
I used to have a pilot's license and all that. Yes, I've had a general a GA pilot's license, and I've been a flight teacher and instructor and a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah.
Yes, Anna's being what's the word? Very oh my gosh, keeping it on the down low.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, very humble's humble's the right word. Absolutely. I don't know why I couldn't say. I told you I'm in a food coma. So Alyssa's got this is cool. It looks like mine. Two screens. That's what I got.
It looks much better than mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Right. So and I'll
cozier.
paste my specs in the channel there.
There you go. Cool.
My specs are a little bit different than Anna. Again, they're focused really for here and now performance, particularly with Photoshop and InDesign. The monitor on the left is a Wacom. This one's actually only a 24-inch HD touch, but you can see with the outside plastic, the whole thing is pretty damn big. It weighs 86 pounds just on its own.
Is that
it
this?
lies
There you
flat,
go.
just like Jay has brought up.
Oh, you have all the cool buttons on it.
Oh,
Yes,
look at that.
awesome.
Yeah. So like I can game on this thing, and I used to game on this thing, but right now I'm facing my actual main monitor. This is off to my left, so I tend to use it just for referencing. However, if I'm drawing, I turn over here, I lay it flat, and I actually start to draw on it. Just Jay, that was a scripted moment, my friend. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is how I use it, and you can see I've actually got a couple of cameras
Gary-Con on there
around me. But yeah, I can literally draw on it, and you can see it's a nice canvas size. It really is, and you can swipe around on it. It's got touch, gesture, rotate, zoom, pinch, whatever you want to do. And I use just regular like stylus pen directly on the screen like this, and it's beautiful because it's helped me transition from paper into digital really nicely. Now the downside is it is 80-90 pounds. It's a permanent weight over there. It takes a huge amount of space, so I don't have the room for a wraparound set of monitors. This takes up a huge chunk of space right here.
Yeah, you have a light ring above you. That's a light ring, correct? Above that picture.
It is a light ring and a camera combined.
Oh, okay, it's both. Oh, all right.
Two cameras that I can choose from. I used to have 3 cameras.
Okay.
Because I had a cat cam too. But yeah, that's one of my cameras.
Oh, I didn't realize I had a camera in there too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. And let's see what else we have here. We have. All right, so this shows how it can move up and down.
It goes real nice. Yeah, you basically just pinch that thing on the side, and the whole thing just rotates up or rotates down, and you can put it on any angle you want. I don't know much of a use for a half angle, like unless I'm going to stand up and be all like, ew, I'm painting on an easel, don't you know? But that's not the way I work. I like to hunch over my shit. So that shows how it works.
Very cool. And I have this, which is the bells and whistles of the inner workings of the PC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so I bought this thing, I want to say about 18 months, 2 years ago, something like that. I did not do the whole chasing that. Damn, look at that little laser light. I've got Hitman.
Meaning your computer looks 10 times cooler than mine. Mine are cool on the inside, but they look boring on the outside. Yeah.
I bought this thing a couple of years ago, and apparently the world has moved on into LED lighting and stuff like that. And I, honestly, at heart, I'm like a 13-year-old boy, okay? So I'm like, oh, yeah, let's do LED lights, because that's all the rage.
It's so cool.
I just went all in on the thing, and it's sitting above my head right now, actually. And it's beautiful. It twinkles between different color schemes, and color schemes make your computer faster. That is a scientific fact.
There you go.
Here it's blue, but it's in standby mode. When it's going really fast, it turns red. But no, so this is my main computer. It's not as powerful in its core as Anna's, but it does have two NVMe 2 drives on it. This is a 2080
See,
Ti.
I don't have that.
So
Yeah.
here, I want to ask you about them. You having any problem with NVMe's?
No, not yet. Not
Okay.
yet,
Yeah, I
no.
hear they
They're
don't last.
blazingly fast.
They oh yeah, because they go right into the boot routine.
Mhm.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my
Okay.
computer boots up in like no time
3
at
seconds.
all.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been great. It's been a lovely workhorse. I'm going to get like a 3080 or a 3090, but I like to stay one generation behind.
Yeah,
Because
cost-wise
quite
makes sense.
frankly, I don't want to spend $2,000 for a $1,000 GPU. I just don't want to do it.
Yep.
So and they're going to get real cheap this year,
Mhm.
and as the 4000 series comes out, so that's when I'll upgrade. And I don't need it. I don't need the raw GPU power. That's where one difference where I think Anna and I, differ.
I pretend
needs the
to need it. Yeah. Mhm.
Well, I mean,
well, you've got the flight sim, and
Oh
well,
yeah,
and
but
the
that's not
rendering
needing
too.
it. That's just
Well,
wanting it. Yeah, that's another thing.
the rendering is another thing. You really
Well, yeah,
gotta,
some software actually runs on GPUs now. That's one of the reasons I upgraded. Yeah, because
I mean,
they can use both CPU and GPU power. So yeah,
that is something that sometimes it just you spend days rendering stuff now.
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah,
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So nice, very nice.
the computer was about 4.5. The tablet was about 3, something like that. So I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just a little popo. I've got about $8,000 worth of like gear, but the desk is custom.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, I actually had a Facebook friend help me out with a lot of this. I had this vision for steel pipes and wood and shit, and he actually, Jared Nielsen, love you, man. Thank you very much.
Oh, cool.
He's a woodworker, and he made all of this shit for me, and he shipped it to me all flat pack, and this is the result. And I think that the net result was great. The computer, actually, you can see is on the top shelf there. And
is there a little cat thing on the left there? For
there's
the
a cat thing on the left. They liked it.
Awesome.
There's one sitting over there right now. Yeah, watching me as I work. And you notice, please, everyone, the cable management.
Yeah, I don't have cable management. It's terrible. Yeah, I have cables everywhere. I started with cable management when I did the first setup here. 6 months later, I had to tore it all up because I needed to reroute the cables, and since then I gave up. Yeah.
All right, so I'm not going to show mine, but just note, I got a machine that's built for streaming. It plays great games. I have a 2080 in mine. But the main thing about this one is it's got 15. Yeah, Kafir, I can't find your shout out on my deck. I don't know what happened to it. My apologies. I know I have one. My machine has 15 USB 3.0 ports. And when I first started streaming, and I'm down in my basement, and I'm wireless down there, going up 2 flights up to the router, which is over here, and I'm like, what the heck? Everything's chunking. All my cameras and all were on 2.0s, maybe one. So I got them all on 3.0 ports now, and everything is lightning quick. 3 cameras, the sound, everything. That's the way to go. I mean, for streaming purposes, get them on the USB 3.0. Don't have them on 2.0. A little trick of the trade there for streaming. Get everything you can on a 3.0, and that seems lots of Gord. I have lots of buttons that I pressed wrong too. Mostly it's from this little thing right here. This little stream deck where I hit wrong buttons all the time.
Cool.
Yeah, and this thing is, this thing was only like 125 or something like that. So I don't know what they are now, but like hit boom, one button and it goes off, and I got shout outs. Almost everyone put it in there. Sometimes I can't find them, even though there's pictures on it. But just note, my machines are nowhere near as powerful. Well, I can play some games on mine, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not into other.
Yeah, but you have your challenges are different, let's say, than Anna and I.
Yeah.
Right? Like for me, it might be I open up InDesign, which has my Photoshop file embedded, and the whole thing just goes, I'll be with you. Hold on. And it just sits there. It sits there for like a minute. And that's the type of thing. Or I like actually before I upgraded, when I was working on the Tegel Mana map, and I would swipe, and the whole thing would just choke, choke.
Chunking,
I would sit there, and I'm just, okay, I'll just wait.
And
And
that
that's
happened
the
like
type of
20
thing.
times a day. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, if not more, right? And you're just waiting and
Yep.
you're waiting and you're waiting. And even with the machine I've got on the Gaslight London map, when I'm throwing in labels, occasionally it will go, hold on, I forgot the linked file. I'll have to reload it. And I'll just sit there and go, yeah, okay. In fact,
Yeah.
I'll get up and walk around the bloody house. And
Yeah.
that's with my current machine. So it's like Anna and I need juice.
Oh, yeah,
now.
because
Mhm.
otherwise 10-20% of your time you work is spent waiting, looking at the progress bar, or nothing happens, so to speak. It's so tedious that yeah.
And I want to say honestly, as much as I am a bitch to Photoshop and the Adobe products, they're crap. I mean, they are. They're not optimized.
No, they're
you
not.
know.
And
Nothing's
they-
optimized anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak for Anna's programs, but mine are not optimized. Like at Teagle Manor, I brought in about 200, 300 labels tops. It's not even that many. My computer died. It just died on the spot. It went, oh, what?
Yeah.
It's gone. It's like, and that is different than gaming, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, meaning, and I think Adobe are some of the best programs that I'm using from stability point. The other 3D tools are not used, but the user base is not millions, in the thousands, and that means that they're not that bulletproof. Games are actually usually some of the best software on the planet because they are used by millions of the most critical mass
Yeah, it's on the cutting edge.
users.
It needs to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. For the
and
most
also
part.
yeah, and there are millions of people using them, and they're all computer savvy enough that they complain instantly and will play something else.
Well, and they have to be, right? Because they're counting freaking frames per second here.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
oh my God, the gaming audience has got fussy over it. Like, Anna, I don't know what you're like, but I'm pretty tolerant of fairly low frames. I'm talking, I can handle 30.
Well, yeah,
30,
in
40, I
flight
can
sim you
handle
don't
that.
need more than 30, and
Right,
in VR
but
you
the-
need 70 maybe,
The,
but
the
that's
modern gaming
100,
verse have
110.
become snobs.
Mhm.
If they're not pushing 70, 80, 90, over 100, I didn't even know there was such a thing as over 100 until recently.
Exactly.
What?
Hey, Gary.
Yeah. So games have to be on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's good for all of us because it pushes the technology and it pushes the 3D
Oh yeah.
rendering
Mhm.
companies, to NVIDIA and ATI. It pushes them,
Mhm.
and that's only helpful for you. So here's my question for Anna. I know you have an experimental pick here, right? You have this
Yes.
this
Mhm.
new. Let's put that up. Bring
That
this
was
up.
me trying out. I'm actually I don't use it anymore, but I tried last week. I
Oh.
got a hissy fit,
Oh,
and I was
Jesus
thinking,
Christ.
instead of having the monitors that way, what about having the monitors on the side this way? Because then I don't have to turn my head around that much. So I experimented, and that lasted 2 days, and then it was like, no, I'm not going to, because people
Now,
told me it's ergonomically you have to do that, and I was like,
I've
okay.
seen this layout
Yeah.
once before, and it was with a programmer who I actually
Mhm.
still work with, and
Yeah.
he actually has 6 monitors around him. It's part of my day job.
6?
6. Yeah, it's like swordfish. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
But he vertically, for a programmer, it
Yeah.
makes sense,
Mhm.
right? It's
Yep.
a list of code.
Yep.
Anna, what was your purpose with doing the two like this?
It
What
was-
were you
it
hoping
was-
to get out of it?
Yeah, there was to get things that are on the side closer to me, so I can see basically the whole setup just
Especially
there,
when you're
straight
standing.
in front
Especially
of
when
me.
you're
Yeah.
standing up.
And when I'm standing and stuff, so I don't have to rotate around left and right that much. But to me, it was like, nah.
TIE fighter.
The problem, yeah, yeah,
it looks
TIE
like.
fighter layout. Yeah, that's awesome.
funny signal.
Yeah, so the problem was that now all of a sudden, when I shift a window from the main monitor to one of the sides, it didn't fit. The beauty of this is that now I can take, because they're all identical. That means that I can just take Photoshop and just put it on any of the screens, and it works, so to speak. It's the same pixel
so
size
funny.
and dimension and stuff. So that was, yeah. But I love to call it the TIE fighter layout. That's awesome. Yeah.
Do you have any close-ups of whatever contraption that is you have your left hand on?
I can show it right here.
What is
Yeah,
that?
that is a Belkin N52 Ti. It's a game controller. Yeah, so it's a game controller that I used when I think I
Put your
got it
hand
when
right
I
on
played.
that and
What
Yeah,
do you use it for, Anna?
I when I got it like
macros.
15 years ago, I used it for when I started playing Dungeons and Dragons online. and Neverwinter Nights and other games when you have like lots of little macros and stuff. It's just a little keyboard, and then you have like a little joystick thumb thing here and some buttons, and you just put your hand on it instead of using your keyboard when you play games. But I realized this is really cool because you can program these with buttons. So that way I have keyboard commands for Photoshop, for all sorts of stuff. When I do my flight sim, I put my hand on top of it and have all the menus for radio commands or whatever you want to open it and close. So it's still with me, and it's like 15 years old, but it's still cool.
Yeah, because it works still.
Cool. Oh yeah, there are much cooler versions of this. Logitech has one with like a little screen in it and a whole bunch of other stuff. But it's really cool little thing.
It's got the blue LEDs in it. That makes them faster.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes it faster. Yep. Yep. So it's still there, so to speak. So
nice.
Macro combinations and games and stuff, and just all sorts of things you can use that for, which is really cool. All right, here's my. I'll keep one up for each here. Just I'll put Anna's this one. I'll flip back and forth. Here's my question to both of you. Give me an item or thing that will help you want to get next for your setups, and why.
A new house.
Because you don't have enough room?
I actually no. So yeah, I don't have enough room. I would actually like to have a wider area right in front of me, a little bit like what Anna's got. Because if I turn left and I'm working off the Wacom, that works. That's fine. But I actually use the keyboard too and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Like Anna's got set up, which means I actually am working off to one side as well. So I would actually like a longer distance right in front of me, and potentially a bigger main monitor. That thing in front of us is about a 34-inch like widescreen, like U-shaped, whatever they call that. And it's great. It's wonderful. I love this freaking monitor. This 160 megahertz, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
So the frames are up there, everything. But I would like to get one of those massive MFers, that are like 55 and that type of shit.
Yep.
And I'd like to get a 32-inch Wacom, not the 24-inch. So and be able to lay it out in such a way where I can actually use the same peripherals, easily. So I need more room. That's what I would crave for. But here in the realistic world, I'm just going to get a 3090 or something like that and probably bolster the general performance of my system with it.
Is that Wacom screen a 1080p or is it a 4K?
1080. No, it's 1080.
It's front.
There was no such thing as 4K when this thing was released.
Right. How about the front monitor?
Front is 4K.
4K. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I actually use them both. Like if I'm adding labels to a map, like Gaslight. Gaslight was on the one in front of us right here.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And because I'm just sitting up, like typing in text, and then I use the left-hand monitor for referencing old maps and that type of thing for what the streets and the stuff should be called. But if I'm drawing, I switch here. I put the thing down and I draw on the. It's not lower res. But it can't handle 4K. But I don't need 4K if I'm hand drawing.
Right. So I appreciate Alyssa's answer.
Yeah.
And the reason I appreciate that is I remember 2013, 2012 when I was in my other house and my basement was 1/10 the size of it is now. I understand 100%, right? I mean, there's no way the stuff I have down there now I could fit. So bigger house is a really good answer.
And we've been talking about it too. Like we've been talking about moving more to Central America. So we're within driving distance of the main conventions that we care about. And when we do, and Portland's expensive. So this house, I'll be able to get a much bigger house and lots more space. So who knows? Maybe in 18 months, we'll be doing this show and I'll be showing you a completely different setup.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, thank you both we're united in shirts, all different colors, but we're united. So, hey, darling. So, all right, Anna, What is your...
The first thing that is on my list to get a new really high-end desktop. But apart from that, that's a must. That's not something I really want to upgrade. It's just I need to. But when it comes to one, I want one of these super big fancy monitors that is coming now. I would love to get something 40-inch super wide, 6K, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
5-6K, yeah, something huge. So I don't, instead of having three, I can just have one huge one and then put the other ones on the side for running Spotify or something that I really need to look at more than changing music.
But pretty sweet for the flight sim too.
Exactly. Then I can even use, but flight sim I do all VR now.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because that is so immersive. That is super cool. Then I miss seat belts on my chair, so to speak, when you do aerobatics in VR. That's super cool. But for mapping, I really love to be able to work side by side on things, and also to have that computer that I can render and work at the same time. Maybe even stream render and work using one computer. I want a 32 core beast or something that I can really put through the paces, so to speak.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yep.
I don't even know how to answer my own question.
So that's otherwise I'm set, so to speak. It's just more horsepower and a bigger monitor, and I will be in nirvana. Yep.
When I always try and get my machines, I always go, what can I get that's cutting edge? It's not insane, like that's $5,000 or whatever, and then I want it to last 5 to 6 years. So far, so good. I mean, I don't play games.
I think that's a good attitude to have, though, Jay, because like back 20 years ago or so, I used to actually build computers as a profession, and I was chasing hardware upgrades, and you can't do it. It's so freaking expensive. Yeah. There's new stuff, better stuff all of the time.
Yep.
So I came out with a personal sort of stance where I would get something that's great now that would last me 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just coast it. Maybe upgrade this or that, but just coast it. Then do a nice big upgrade again. And I think that works well.
Oh yeah. My computer usually have a 5-year lifespan before they degrade it to a second computer, and then I get a new one, so to speak. So
like the guys, there were guys 2 years ago or 3 years ago that would have bought the 2000 series graphic cards, right? Who last year were chasing the 3000 series graphic cards. And if you're in the audience, by the way, serious, I love you, man. Really, I do, but I don't understand you. I mean, I just don't. And especially because overpaying on it or really chasing that thing, it's like lining up to get like the latest sneakers or something like that. It's like, okay, go for it. And then this year, these are going to be the same guys 1 year later who are going to sell the 3000 series and get the 4000 series. It's like you're losing money all of the time for nominal.
My son's machine's got a 1080 Ti in it, and that's still fast.
It's still
that
fast.
titanium. It's good. So.
But I could get 40 frames per second. Okay. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I get like I have like a 1000 or a 1080 Titan X. That was the coolest thing 5-6 years ago, and then I waited, and then I got a 3000. Now I want to keep that for my next machine and probably get a 5000 in 3 years or 4 years time or something like that. So I upgrade roughly about every 5 years. Yeah.
You're a different case, Anna, because you need to cut your rendering times down, obviously.
Oh
right?
Yeah, exactly. I can need every CPU cycle.
Can you explain why what you're doing? It takes a day because I don't.
It's when I render the landscape, so to speak. It take all these fractals that are basically just mathematical formula, and then try to calculate every little point in the landscape, how erosion works. It builds the landscape from basic formula. And when you want to do that high detail, like porta potty scale, 5 feet per pixel, that means that you have to do it for hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of pixels. And in order to do that, you have to calculate trillions of spots on the terrain, meaning you render basically every tree stump sticking up. So you render in graphic terms, you render billions, trillions of polygons in your 3D geometry, and you do that, and that takes a long time. And then you render textures and stuff like that. So I usually render twice. So I render or 3 times. I render first splat map, and then I render textures, and then I do the final visualization. So it's 3 times the render. And an area, a render takes usually from about 9 to 28 hours, depending on the size and the complexity. So and I hope, and there's 2 problems with it. First is all the crunching, meaning I need multi-core performance. The more cores I can put on the problem, the better. But also it generates so much data. We're talking terabyte size files. So my RAM gets swamped, completely swamped, and that means that I need to swap. And then that's when I need NVMe, the fastest SSDs that money can buy. So the next computer, I'm going to get a 4 terabyte or a couple of 4 terabyte and make one huge like 8 terabyte or 6 terabyte hard drive, SSD hard drive, that is the fastest possible, because the swapping the file back and forth is about half the render time. It's not calculating it, it's storing all the data and then reading some of it back again bit by bit, so to speak, and then verify. And that takes a long time. So a faster computer, I can easily cut that down to 25% of the time. So instead of 10 hours, it will be 2.5. So that is definitely
and for you,
feasible.
In all fairness, I mean, this is your job.
Yeah.
And hours are just it's everything to you. I mean, this is now processing. If you can get it sooner, you can be moving on.
Yes, and also and also if I can work at the same time on the computer while it's rendering in the background, that also, if I have like 32 cores instead of 8, I can work using a couple of cores, and I can have 20 something cores rendering in the background, and it could still work. So that means that it will be doubly much sped up, so to speak.
So storage, Dr. Poirov, your buddy there, Alyssa, just asked you a question, and I know your NVMEs are huge for you, but where do you store, both of you, all this data? I mean, backup drives on the machine in a 2 terabyte drive? That's a good question. That's a real good question.
Well, Anna's got ridiculous raw storage, and I'll let her answer it in a moment. For me, like, my files are large. They're not as large as Anna's. I have a different concern. I don't want to suck up all of my hard drive space. I have 4 terabytes with 2 NVMEs, and that's it. And I have one for my games, and I have one for everything else. But I have a Dropbox. I use Dropbox. I pay for a subscription on that.
So do I.
And I put everything. I work off Dropbox in that way, you know. So so I'm on cloud and the solid state on my computer itself.
Why cloud instead of NAS is the question also.
Go ahead, Anna.
Oh, I was going to say I'm similar in some ways. I also use Dropbox. So I have my system drive is a SATA, but it's an SSD SATA, so it's not the really fast NVMe, because my computers are too old. They had the first generation, and the drivers aren't good. I tested it, but it didn't work well. I can boot from it, and it was unreliable at best, and it doesn't support really big drivers. So that was a no-no for me. But so I'm using hard drives, and I have a 4 terabyte Dropbox, the biggest you can get, and everything that I'm currently working I save in Dropbox, because that gives me, it syncs between the machines automatically, and it gives me an instant backup of things. So if my house burns down, someone steals my computer, it's in the cloud available. Or if I get, like, someone put a crypto locker and lock me out of it, I have a copy that I can revert back to how it works yesterday. So that's kind of the safety in what I'm working at the moment. And then I set up a RAID inside my computer. I have RAIDs on both of them. So I have double the hard drives are RAIDed, so they're like 3 drives, and there's being spread up. So I can lose 1/3 of the drives and get like a hard drive malfunction, and it will still be there, so to speak. The data is not completely, it's SATA, what is it, like 4 or it's a RAID some array function. I forgot which number it was, but we set it up that way. So I have 3 drives instead of 1. So it's both a little bit speed and some security in it. And then I also use a service called Backblaze that I pay $60-80 a year or something like that, that I back up a whole computer. So everything that is on the computer gets backed up. And that is a slow backup, but the good thing, that's long-term backup. So if I lose, then I don't have to worry. If I put things that are more long-term, not something I'm working on, but things that I used to work on 6 months ago and stuff I have there. Plus the fact that then I have a fireproof safe. So I buy cheap 2 terabyte hard drives and I back things up and put them in that storage, so to speak. And that's when I have long-term stuff that I would put in there. And things like old references and old versions of my Greyhawk maps and stuff. I think I have every file that I created for maps for the past 20 years. Everything is still here in one way or the other. It takes a little bit to find, but almost every version of it. And I'm talking almost every version of the file, because if I work on a project, I generate a new file at least once a day. And if a project goes on for 9 months, then you can have 300 versions of that file. And what I do when I put them in that, I delete and keep only every 10 of the files, because if they're 80 gigabytes a piece, then you can fill up 2 terabytes in hard drives in a heartbeat. So I take like every 10 versions of the file and save. That way, if I want to go back to an earlier version, I can. And that's one of the beauties of Dropbox. And sometimes I like, damn, I deleted that layer. Now it's gone and I can't get it back. Then I can go in Dropbox and revert back to what it looks like this morning. That saved me a couple of times.
Here's a trivia question for both. And Alyssa, do you have on storage, you have a comment you want to make before I ask this question?
No, go ahead.
Give me the 2 things that take up the most space that I need. Two categories. What do you think? That takes up a ton of space on my computer.
Well, you have video files
on your
you download.
computer?
Yes. So
Videos.
Yes, I download every single Twitch video I do. I don't want to lose a single one of them. I download them all, then I back them up to a hard drive. But some of them could be 2 to 5 gig, right? Each. Second. Yeah, porn. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but is he right?
No,
it's a different computer.
That's all streaming now. You don't need to put it on your hard drive.
Exactly.
That's where he's got 85 of.
Not audio. Audio's not that bad. This one's a little obscure, but you should know what we do on our table. And the answer is 3D print STL files.
They are big.
Oh man!
Okay.
So
they're just like my terrain files. They're big. Yep.
So if you know Jeremy's newest one that we have given away the last couple of times. And I'll just show it real quick, and then we'll talk to you. I know Rob Phantom got it, Armin got it, Winnings, a couple other people got this. Just to put in perspective the size, and you're like, oh my gosh, where are you going to put all this? Here it is. I'll just throw this up real quick. The Heartwood Scriptorium. This right now he printed this. We don't have to print this. He printed it out for us. It's at Bill's house. The whole thing. That is 5 gigs files. I mean, and that's that's a huge amount of space that burns up on mine, because I have 2 sponsors, plus we get a lot of other stuff from other parties, and it's a lot. So just note that's
You know what? I never even thought about this. I subscribe to a different company, and I've just clicked on one folder of like 30, and it's 6 gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sucking up a huge amount of space here.
Yeah, exactly.
I might actually need to look into network storage, to be honest with you, because they take up a huge amount of space.
Yeah, they do.
They take up way more than the videos.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because the renderings on that, and I know Jeremy does unbelievable work from Gamescape 3D. He's not cutting corners on the files because he doesn't need to. I mean, because just got to store them, and so. It's a lot of space. If I for example, and I'll stop beating this dead horse topic here. For me, here, Infinite Dimensions. I click on the properties for the subfolder. 18 gigs Infinite Dimensions folder is on my D drive, and then I go to Gamescape 3D. It's going to be way bigger. 125 gigs.
I'm going to see how big my
Of stuff.
Greyhawk file
I've
in
got
my mapping
100
is.
gigs right now.
Yeah.
Size on disk, 100 gigabytes of 3D models. I
Yep.
had no idea.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
just, it's crazy.
I had no idea. All right.
Oh, and counter maps? Well, they make Alyssa and Anna just make them like crazy. We're going to show some stuff, Zach. Just sit
Yeah.
tight. We're going to show some mapping here in the
We're going
second
to show
hour.
some
For
super sexy mapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Greyhawk folder in Dropbox. That's just the stuff.
Let me
that I'm
guess.
working
2
on.
terabytes.
No, not that much. 1.48 terabytes.
I wasn't that far off. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's my Greyhawk stuff, and that doesn't include my campaign stuff. It's all the mapping bits, so to speak. So that's the current Greyhawk mapping stuff.
Noble Dwarf. Is this Noble Dwarf? Are you the Noble Dwarf printing?
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
Awesome. Welcome. Thank you
Great
so
to
much
see ya.
Love
all
you,
the
Noble.
stuff. Yep.
See, I'm still streaming. You just got to
Yep.
get me out there.
Noble,
Noble.
we need to talk. You and
Yes,
I.
we need. Yeah, we need to talk too. And he.
Yeah, Noble, you need to talk to both of these guys.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yep. Good to see you.
Yep.
So I know you do stuff with my friend Troller Games too, with Chuck and
Oh,
Steven
yeah.
and all them too. So
And one of my top
Very cool.
patrons are printing stuff, my Greyhawk maps.
Awesome.
So he's working on that too, and hopefully more. Yep.
Squirrel says, I process 3D scan data, and some of those project files are 1 to 1.2 terabytes individually. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nuts. So
yeah,
a lot of this just shows that it never ends, right? There's always something better out there. Alyssa wants that new, that Wacom, that would be awesome. A 39-inch Wacom, you said?
No, it's 32, 34-inch.
wow.
But it's a mega expensive, and I don't have the room right now. I really don't. But I want it. I want it. I do. No, and that would be something. If I could, I would probably get it. And if this particular weapon died, and one day it will, I'll upgrade and I'll get the biggest one.
Yep.
And there's I'm assuming there's some kind of market for after, but not anything that you would
But part of the problem here though is like, okay, do you want to buy my used Wacom off me?
Right.
Cool, excellent. We come up with a great price. This is 90 pounds of weight.
Yeah, you had to go ship
How
it
am I going to get this to you?
Yeah, true.
You know,
true.
Yeah,
true. That's
but I would love to get the next one up. I really would.
Yeah, Wargaming says someone would want it in the nearby area too. You're probably correct. It's a hassle too to find someone, unless you know someone in the community.
Advertising,
yeah, unless you have
and
it's risky.
Talking to local people. Screw that noise. I don't talk to my neighbors. Never mind the blood.
And shipping's always a consideration for anything.
Yeah.
For example, we don't get pre-printed stuff from one of our 2 3D print companies from Infinite Dimension Games because they're in Toronto. Now, can you imagine? Jeremy's in Kentucky. He can ship it right up to South Jersey, no problem. So we get these huge boxes, but we don't get it with because imagine shipping that stuff from Canada, all printed up, and it's not even the weight, it's the space. So it's So are we all DMs? Oh yeah, yes, we're all DMs.
I think we actually are, aren't we? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think it's because we look.
So Alyssa, I played in Alyssa's Call of Cthulhu game at GaryCon, and Anna's played in my game a lot more than I played in hers. But
exactly, so we can hopefully fix that in the future. Yeah,
Anna's got a couple openings for Virtual GrowCon, 2 spots. I have 6 openings for general signups for my Grand Joust of Altamira event, and that's all right there. So, cool. It's all fun. All right. So, any other questions about setups? About questions about tech questions that they may be able to answer before we go on, and we go on to some really neat, juicy map stuff here. I always like this picture because I know you were.
By the way, just as a quick aside, you see the sticky note to the left? Noble Dwarf. I'm shouting out to you, my friend.
Oh, this sticky right here?
No, but on the wall.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Noble Dwarf actually has some 3D models that he sells through his website, and they are called ortherics, and they are delectable. ball. I can't show you one. It's off camera here, but they are absolutely delectable. They are basic. I can't tell you what they look like, but imagine a big ball with lots of eyes coming off it with a bowler hat, for example, or a little umbrella. They are absolutely adorable. Orpherics. That little sticky note, I wrote Orpheric down so I could remember it when they joined me on my Twitch channel.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of Zach using a VTT, man. That's another setup thing. We have. This is a good thing about this is we're compiling. This is once a month, and this is our 15th episode. We're compiling a lot of really neat things.
Yep.
Here. With content, where should we start?
Where do you want to
Should
start?
we do updates on our projects first?
Yeah.
We could, Anna. I've got something like 4 or 5 with Jay, though, because I had a lot of things
please start then.
recently.
Yeah, get going.
Let's start with, we had this gentleman on last Saturday night. I think this is the one we want to start with. One of these two, right?
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one? Everyone you want to discuss first?
Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with the city one, because I know you told Luke no on this one for something, which was hysterical.
Did you have Luke on?
Luke played. All right, so last Saturday night, Josh couldn't play with the Slav squad, the all-female cast, but Josh. So he got he got Luke to fill in, and Luke has a character in our campaign whose name's Eliador, who's the son of Melf. So I call him Smelf, because Melf, you remember, the legendary Melf is Luke's character from ages ago. And he played with this all-female cast, and he said it was a wonderful, fun time. They were just all nuts and crazy.
Nice.
It was great. Yeah. Nice. So Luke played last Saturday, and it was humbling to me. I'm sorry to brag. We were the #1 D&D stream on last Saturday night out of any stream. It was awesome. It was a blast. We had a great time. The audience was wonderful. It was fun, and Luke was great. So this is Luke Shintufi. This is Luke and Matt Everhart's undertaking that you're doing work for. So that's cool.
Yep. We have 2 questions in chat too. So first one is from
Smells to half elf fighter mage.
Yeah. Do we use 3D printers? No, I haven't used 3D printing yet, so to speak. I have some ideas for future projects that might involve 3D printing, but for me, I want to have full colors. That's when I will go deep into 3D printing. Once I can print them full color, I will be so into it that it will be crazy. Yeah.
Smells a half elf. Yeah, he's a half elf. But technically, Melf, word is Melf, maybe half elf too. There's a little argument between where he's full or half. All right, so let's hop back on that one. What's the second question, Anna, that was out there?
That was from Gary. Can you answer it to Alyssa? What do you think of the knockoff Wacom style tablets sold on Amazon?
Right. So, and I did answer that in chat, and I do want to make sure that we kind of keep the conversation sort of focus on like kind of what's on screen. But yeah, so I actually seriously looked into alternatives to Wacom. Wacom are double the price of some competitors.
Yep.
And there is a competitor called Huion, Huion. They are a Chinese company, I believe. They basically look like Wacoms, and from just tablets to sit on your lap to tablets with a screen that aren't part of your computer to a monitor that lays flat. The thing that I found with Huion is they are not gesture compatible. You can't swipe, pinch and zoom and things like that. You could draw on them, absolutely, but they don't support gestures. And that, it halves the price though. You'll go from $2,000 to less than $1,000, which it can be absolutely freaking worth it. And I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah.
I love my gestures. And so if I honestly went again, I'd probably get another Wacom, even though there was a good, cheap alternative out there.
Well, absolutely, because you're comfortable with it and you're not going to have issues, right? And the last thing you want to do is have issues with something that your profession. You want to keep things rolling along, and I don't blame you at all. I mean, that's why I stick with NVIDIA over ATI when it comes to. I'm showing 3D prints. So we had some questions for 3D print stuff. I'm just showing some 3D prints out there while we're talking. This one lights up, this 3D print. So I would never. I go with what I'm comfortable with. We all do. Listen. So, oh, look at that! And Patrick awarded you with a with a gift sub for that. That was awesome. So just showing you guys some different 3D prints we have out there right now. So okay. Oh yeah. We play on Thursday nights and then a lot of Saturday night specials. So, but Wacom seems to have the name out there. You know, so which is awesome. One more, Dr. Dr. Prov. I'm going to show this real quick. This will be back up on the table for Virtual GrailCon. So, and this is the joust. This is all done 3D print by our favorite company. He did all this, and then Billy Master Crafter did it all up. That jousting field's all 3D printed, and then look. There's even horse tracks in the dirt. So it's customized 3D prints. So there you go. Okay. Just man. Like I said, we don't mess around when the miniatures are Reaper and stuff like that. In fact, that's Gary's character, the Black Knight, up as one of the characters there. So just give you an idea what we're all about here. Sorry to digress. Just answer that question. Any other questions?
Well, actually, Cannonball.
Troy,
we haven't got into like what projects are we working on completed, and I want to get into this segment of the show. I know we all do. We're going to talk about what next. I've done the ink work on Wamptham now, and we're going to show you that here shortly. We're going to ask all of you out there, all of you boys and girls, what city should be my next?
Yes.
I'm making a list. So start thinking about it. And when we talk about Wamptham, we're going to ask you, what is my next Greyhawk city? Okay. I've got some great suggestions already. I'm sure you can come up with some.
Anna and I have each given our suggestions. And they're both, I will say, they're both very good. Ooh, Gore the Rogue. Isn't that mapped already, though, Stoink? That's a good one.
That's the thing. That's a lost map.
It's a lost map, yeah. All right, so Shintupi, we will get to that. We promise.
Let's talk about Shintupi.
Yes.
So Luke Gygax approached me about a month ago with his recently kickstarted Shintupi project. He wanted to do a regional and a city map. Now, Shintupi City is 1 million people. Okay, it's basically the size of ancient Rome. It's truly huge. So I've got a month. And I like, Luke, I can't draw a city in a month. It takes me like 3 to 6 months to do a city, if not longer. And a city of 1 million people, fully colored, that's like a year. I mean, it just is. So I had 2 projects from Luke, and basically when Luke asked me to do something, I love Luke. I love Gary Khan. I'm going to say yes. I don't care what else is going to go on. I'm going to put my life on hold, and I'm going to make this happen. And he had 2 maps he wanted me to do. One was a regional, and I'll show you that. And one was a city map. This is the city map. And so to represent the city and the scale of the city, I did it a little bit differently. So it's a little bit sort of almost bird's eye view with extra large sort of icons showing sort of key POIs, right?
Yeah.
And Jay, I think you could probably sort of super zoom in, but I've just got lots of little details, like the Manticore plains in the bottom right. I drew a little.
Oops, how did that happen? Wow,
oh, there's the next one.
That was weird. 1 second here. Everyone can do it. Hit the wrong button. I wrong buttoned it somehow.
Jay never hits the wrong button. I'm blaming this one.
Zapped it. All right, lower right, you said, right?
Right. So yeah, lower right. There's a little Manticore drawn in there. Yeah. And so I did me. In fact, every single tower in this too has different details on it. Balconies, flags, extra sub towers coming off it. The dockyard area alone, there's a couple of ships in there, all sorts of individual little buildings and doorways.
Grove.
So while I couldn't do the type of Wamptham approach to this, I think I brought a level of gravitas to the piece. And I've actually worked on this Okarim, I think is the general setting that Lucas got going on.
Yep.
And I've worked on this before, like 8-10 years ago. I worked on it in a much cruder way. So it was kind of nice to revisit it and really kick it up a notch, you know? And so all of these areas, all of these districts, Luke sort of sent me descriptions of them, and I don't know. It was a fun project to draw.
It looks awesome.
What's good about this is you got points of interest that they can note, and then they can flesh out the low quarter, right? They can discuss more details about the low quarter here.
Right, no, exactly.
Yeah.
So his book
Yeah.
is going to do the writing about it. This is really now more to give you a sense of city, shape, districts, locations, and that's it. Now, Luke has mentioned, and I hope we could do it, it would be awesome. Luke has mentioned actually doing a 1 million person city in the style that is behind me right now with Wamptham, which I would love to do. And it would be a big project. It really, really, really would. So fingers crossed for that. We will end up drawing the city of Centufi like stupid scale. This is the region. And there's a lot of details on this regional map too. And by the way, everyone in the chat, Luke's the heart of Shentufi, it kickstarted about a month or two ago. It funded, it's getting released. So you can still back it. You can still obviously pledge to it. I would encourage you to take a look at it. I mean, look at the maps. They're freaking gorgeous. What's not to love? Throw some money at the damn thing. This was so much fun. You can't get the zoom in, but basically what we've got is the city of Shentufi is to the left there.
There it is.
We've got there it is. We've got, it's a dry kind of barren area, very desert-like. There's little pockets that are a little bit more sort of fertile.
Hey, Josh.
We've got this big, huge mountain range. It's almost like the spine of the world type of thing. And then we've got the blight on the other side of it, you know, the blighted lands. And this is kind of the look that I went for on this one. It's something, I did something similar to this on Dragon Kings many years ago, and it just looks like, and it's modeled off bone marrow. That's what these shapes are modeled off.
Yep.
It's really cool looking. And we gave away 3 Okarim PDFs last Saturday night as well.
There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah.
If, by the way, if you zoom in, I don't know how close you can zoom in.
I can come all the way.
The rift, that little crack in the ground.
Right here.
One of the requests from Luke was, can we have a sphinx or something, kind of looking down on it? But it's not a sphinx. It's, what was it? The Lamassu. Can we have a Lamassu looking down? It's the Guardian. So I found myself drawing a bloody Lamassu on this thing. It was just fun.
Yeah, it's really
that
cool.
ended up being a big part of then the compass rose. And you'll see the compass rose is one of the prettiest compass roses that I've actually drawn recently.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wow, look at that. Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
In kilometers and miles to be European friendly.
Oh, there's kilometers too. Wow.
Yeah.
There's you know, you could work this in, I think, into the Backlunish lands of Greyhawk very easily too. I don't see why you couldn't. So is that Gilgamesh? Who knows? It looks like it could be something in that you know, that ethos.
And the whole map, I think the setting has got that type of cultural vibe to it. That type of design was requested by Luke, you know, for this. And there's what I love to do with my maps, by the way, including Wamptham, and every map I do for Greyhawk, but every map I've ever done is there's all sorts of little Easter eggs. There's a little statue on here. There's faces carved into cliffs. There's little features here and there. So every time you look at the map, I want you to find something new. So these were 2 that I completed recently for Luke Gygax, and I know it was a big, huge blast to work on.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
cool.
look at this.
Yeah.
Like here, look. Oh, look at that. It's just in the middle of the peaks here.
Yeah.
Some kind of obelisk.
I just want GMs and everyone alike to just, you know, go, I'm going to do something with this, or players to go, well, what's that? Or what, you know, and I don't know, find out, go there and let the GMs figure it out.
It is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So let's bounce back here. Anna, you got like number 1 through 27 here. Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, but go to Altamira.
Yes. Altamira 1?
Yeah.
I have look at this.
Yeah.
We now know where it's going to be.
These are renders using the splat map, so we don't have textures yet. That's the next step after this. This was a way for because I wanted to show Jay so he needs to sign off, and so we get the actual layout of the terrain around the city. So we have the terrain where the city, and the first little platform or that kind of shaved off little hill was not big enough. It wasn't only half a mile. So this is
I'll link in their page
a
notes.
mile. Yeah, so it's 1,100 5-foot squares across that one, roughly on the narrowest, and it's also not completely round. It has more of a natural
I like
shape,
this.
so to
I
speak.
like it. I mean, you
Yeah,
kept
so-
the little hill abutment here on
Yes,
the left.
Yep.
So
You can build a fortification or something cool on top of it. And
now
it's
we just have to
more
put a city there.
exactly. So we have to put a city there. So that's the idea. But it's 1,100
Wargaming.
5-foot squares across.
So Wargaming, we have Anna and I are partners, and we're doing my city, the Free City of Altamira in Greyhawk, which is where I do a lot of adventuring in, and the box set. We're doing a full box set with Troller Games, and that's what this is this is an ongoing project. So
Yep.
yeah, so population 9,999. You're pretty close there, Gary. We got to figure out the population.
Yeah.
I think no more than 15. I think no more than 15,000. So it ain't going to take
Yep.
2 years. Well, that's a lot less than 1 million.
Yep.
Because it was a military installation first. A city kind of grew inside it, so yeah, I want to give
Yep.
it some room.
So that's why we went
I
for
don't-
the defensible position. So to
Yeah,
speak,
what
up there.
program is this mainly made in?
This is made in World Machine.
World
It's
Machine,
called, called World Machine. So it's
Yeah.
and I haven't gone for textures yet. So this is just using colors for different, and then I have all the elevation, and then I put some shading on so we can see the hills properly. And there's from a couple of other angles too, so you can go to the next one and you can see
Sure.
the same thing.
Yeah, I was thinking 10K. So if you think 15K is too much, but okay.
Oh, no, now you went. Way
Oh,
too
did I? That was
far.
number 2.
No, don't go to Altamira.
Oh! I went to number 2 because
Oh,
like
yeah,
I said, I
exactly.
am in a food coma.
Yeah, we have.
Oh,
there
I
you
like
go.
that angle. Wow,
There
above.
you see from the.
Yeah.
This is from the northwest angle, so to speak. So you can see it's well integrated. And I like this city design because the city has 2 lakes as freshwater reservoirs.
I like that.
So
Yeah,
there's
that makes total sense.
2 lakes, and you can drill that way. You can drill.
Fill with Murlocs.
Exactly. You can
I'm
drill
just kidding.
a little tunnel
maybe.
in and have wells inside the city, and that way the city has as good.
What's the square area of that?
It's a mile radius, right?
Yeah, it's
only
exactly. It's a mile across. So it's it's a square
You're
mile.
not going to have the city edge to edge.
No, there's a wall all the way around on the outside.
Is the city then edge to edge inside that wall?
Well,
because that's going to be a lot more than 10 or 15.
But the good thing is that means that you have space over some.
There's estates in there.
Yeah.
You got to remember, there's whole estate grounds too. So it's not there's also the arenas in there, the jousting fields in there, 5 castles which take up a lot of space.
Yeah. But you also have some areas up on the hills.
Yeah, it's about 10,000. There's room to grow in this one, I think. Correct, Alyssa?
I think there will be room to grow.
That's good.
Ancient Rome. Hello, there's an ancient Jack. Ancient Rome wasn't much bigger in footprint. I've just got news for you. So we could talk about it. I mean, but 10,000 people, they're going to have estates each. They're going to have farms each.
Yeah, they have some room. So yeah.
To show everyone.
But ancient Rome was bigger than.
I have to find it.
1 by 1 mile. Yeah.
Here's my map.
Not as much as you made.
Altamira, there it is. There it is, right? That is my map from the last 20 years. Just showing
go to print, Jay. What are you waiting on?
With that now, we're working. I'm finding out, and I get my stones busted by the community a lot. It's the writing is difficult, but I'm getting through it. I'm getting through it because I got to convert a lot of the Castles and Crusades rule set too. So.
Yeah. And Gary, this is generated using fractals. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so Wargaming, this is the whole thing. We're trying to make this work realistically, and I have no idea. I create a map and I create a setting, but I don't think about all this stuff that Anna thinks of, and that's why the partnership is working great. I don't think of the reservoirs and where they're getting the water from, and you can have estates dotting all these hills and other keeps and other settings, and we're gonna have We're going to get Alyssa involved in this at some point. Once we get to the point where we actually are going to talk about going to a Kickstarter, we're getting there. We're getting to it. We're trying to get a production schedule going with where we want to be with Troller Games. We're working on it. It is just,
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a 3D print buildings. We're going to have all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah,
it's coming.
thank you, Gary. That's the whole point
Keep
with this.
wondering, I'm working
It
on it.
should look like a real city. This should look like a real city, and wait until it's textured properly. That's when, and we can put real
Yeah,
like
this is-
virtual buildings and trees and stuff like that on it.
Yeah, so this isn't even textured
Yeah.
properly yet, right? Is what
No,
you're
there's
saying?
no texture at all. This is
Oh my
just
gosh.
basic splat colors,
Oh my
no
gosh.
texture.
That's
So
insane.
once we get textures, buildings, trees, and stuff like that, it's going to look fantastic.
Here's number 3.
And we have some other, yeah, exactly.
That's from another angle.
Seen from southeast, from the opposite of the previous one, so to speak. So I love those slopes. You have the slopes and those hills. I really love how they turned out. They will look amazing when you have textured and stuff. So yeah, and you can see the gray there is where bare rock will be, so to speak, and the light green will be like grass, really, and the little bit thicker mid green will be longer grass, and the dark green is where forest can grow and stuff. But
yeah, we have
some
no
of these
trees or anything yet. So
exactly, but and then we have to, some of the areas that are green will be meadows and will be like grazing areas. Some of it will be agriculture and stuff like that.
Are we going 15 by 15 miles out on the outside of it, or are we going 20 by 20? Did we decide that yet?
It depends. I'm
Okay.
going to render more than, we have an area that is, I've mapped to this level an area that is 100 by 100 miles, but we're not going to render all of that because that will take me 5 weeks to do. But we can definitely do an area at least 10 miles in every direction from the city at this level, so to speak. And then we will see how much will make it into the book and poster maps and stuff, because then we have printing limitations and stuff like that too.
Plus, we need to go into some of the bad areas. Remember, on the other side of the river is the Twilight Forest / the Sus Forest for both and all.
So we might take, instead of having we might have a low resolution oversight. This is from the top, and I colored red or brown the area that is flat and suitable for city, so to speak. And that's when I calculated the resolution. You zoom in on this one. This is real resolution. This is 5 feet resolution.
Oh my gosh.
So you can zoom in and you can see the details. So yeah. So this is full resolution render, but not textured.
Okay.
But it's full resolution. So I wanted to test and see how well it works. So yeah.
Very cool.
And you can follow the little trinket. But you see the main river down there is just blue now.
Yeah, this is a tributary into the Jewel. This is not the Jewel River.
That is the Jewel River.
This is the Jewel right here.
Yes.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it will tweak it a little bit because it's the depth area. So I will probably raise the water level a little bit and then paint in some wetlands and reed fields and marshy areas and stuff like that. Swamp forest and stuff around it, so to speak. So there's no riverbank and stuff. So that is just, it's just the raw. This is not edited or anything. It's just raw from I just painted in the colors in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's completely raw. This one needs hours of cool work to actually make it shine, but it's a good raw material because this is the raw material, nothing else.
And can I ask you a question that came from the chat? And I don't hear many people ask you this question, and I'm curious as to the answer.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've ever heard anyone ask this. Ganbriel asks, why 3D renders are not classical cartography? Because I want to have, I see there's a need for both, and even I have a need for both, but I want to have see what the real terrain looks like, because for me as a DM in my play style, there's a lot of consideration comes in. I want to see when they are traveling, where would the orcs ambush, for instance, and if someone builds there's a castle on that hill, how difficult is it to come up there and break in, so to speak? Exactly, defensibility and stuff like that, meaning travel time. If the party takes this way and the bad guys are taking that way, which goes fast? Depends on how difficult is the terrain and stuff.
Here's my wonderful thought world process. This will be the first time I think this has been done in a publication, right?
Yeah.
With this level in of detail of the terrain and what's going on, but I want I'd love to have both. I'd love to have the classic photography of the map of the city area, and then the whole surrounding with the city done in this. Because if you got this 1=5, you can scroll all the way in on this area, or like say there's an estate up here on the slope. we can scroll right in on that. I mean, that's what I think it's going to be such a great help. And because we're talking all the time when I go on my, I'm thinking, Alyssa, in stream terms too, right? So when I come, and I'm sorry if I'm going off on a tangent, everyone, I apologize, but I'll give you another example. Is Anna's just classic map. Let's just bring that up real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in scale wise. So I'm gonna pop up the Greyhawk map here, right? By the way, this is available for everyone, except this is my custom one. So I come in here. Here's Altamira, right? Here's that's the same area right here. And then I go and I talk about where the adventure is, and I go, well, they're going to come out here. The last time we did at Greenwood that you played on, Alyssa, it took place in Burnt Mill. I'm going to bring this map up, and I'm going to show everyone I love the visual aspect of the game, and I think that's what another thing we're trying to do with the city itself is make it visual aspect to that level of detail. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, go to my image 22.
Okay.
And down, because there you can see what
22.
something like this could look like when it's from a top-down perspective it's textured. It's part of my
Shieldlands. Yeah.
Zoom in on that one a little bit, and you can see what it looks like when it's textured.
Yeah, with the trees.
Yeah. So you can you have trees on it, and
how high up is this? 10 miles?
No, it depends. It's 5 feet per pixel. So
yeah, I mean the view from above.
That will be probably 10,000 feet or something like that.
So 2 miles. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's awesome. About two giveaways from Frog God Games tonight. $25 gift certificates, everyone. What mapping program is this done in as well as this World Machine?
The terrain is done in World Machine, textured in World Machine, and then I've edited in Photoshop, and so you see the final result in Photoshop. Because I go in and touch up little areas, painting roads, and I
awesome.
do some of the texturing on the waters and stuff, so you can see the different stuff. You can see the sand shining through and how deep it is and stuff like that. So,
one day, Anna, you need to just say deadpan Microsoft Paint.
It's not really good enough for this. Yeah, you can't even do layers.
I don't know that. Yep, it looks gorgeous, Anna. And I want to expand upon, why rendering, why not? I mean, if you think about it, Anna's kind of doing both. I mean, look at the net results here. She's rendering this sort of baseline, but then she comes in and manually is adding little splat maps and textures.
Oh yeah, you need to work both. Yeah,
she's ending up doing both to get this wonderful result here.
Yeah. So it is, and well beyond. I mean, Anna's the cutting edge on this, right? This is her baby.
Yeah, no one does this.
Yeah, no, and that's.
I can understand why, because it's a lot of work to get there.
It is.
And
absolutely,
it's a lot of work to get it, and that is an island that is roughly the size of Altamira. It's about a mile across, so it's about the same size.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I know a lot of you Greyhawkers are waiting for this. I know Altamira is nice, but I know you want something that Alyssa's finished here. Well,
yes.
99, ready?
Yes.
So,
I've been waiting for this too. Yep.
Well, they are Dark Elf. You were just talking about hand drawing. Here's my
there we go.
For the version. This is Greyhawk Wantham. This is the ink work we're going to do. It's going to be fully colored. The fully colored version will be first revealed through Greyhawk Online. Okay. But the high res version will only be available through my Patreon, just so you know. So subscribe to my Patreon.
And I do, so I get it. Woohoo!
Yeah, you do. So there's a lot of background story on this. I mean, just from a Greyhawk perspective, I've got videos talking about my thought process about it, the few resources that we do have and how I've applied them here. I've gone all out nuts on this. City obviously is about 20,000 people. This one, it has this massive population influx. So we've got this spillover that I've tried to encapsulate on the east, south, and west side of the river. The river is a major one. We've got west to east traffic, major road. We've got north to south, major traffic on the east side of the river. Tried to encapsulate for all of those and accommodate for all of those. But honestly, trying to also think about the heart and where things were born, right? With old Wantham and the old keep, maybe on a hill before things really, started to spill out. And Jay's texting his girlfriend right
No,
now.
I put down
He
someone.
can't
Someone
show
said.
you, but
Someone said Papa Fox Taco said, I miss Alyssa doing live work. And I was typing, well, when we don't have a fancy mapping show, normally you're on with Anna and you're both
Yeah.
doing live work on the same
Mhm.
yeah,
time on
I actually
Fridays.
stream with Anna on Fridays
Yeah,
at
so
least 2 or 3 times a month.
Mhm.
So right now,
Good night.
that's where you're going to catch me, and you might
Hey,
start
Nancy.
catching me on my own channel here shortly as well. But
Yeah.
Anna every Friday, so watch
Mhm.
out for those.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Jay, I mean, I don't know if you want to pan around. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got the Royal Mint here. We've got that actually built into the main keep. We've got the industry to the north because it's an ore industry and a logging industry. The logging industry has shaped details like this, right, where they float them downriver. And they've got, I started to imagine the London docks, like bringing these logs in and getting them into areas where there's no sort of currents, etc., and they can start pulling the logs out and processing them, in various sawmills and everything. So we've got little cranes because they always invoke sort of industry and things like that. There's so much detail on this map. I've got little stairwells. I've got little awnings. I've got little tents. I've got the little ropes on the tents. I've gone all out because honestly, if I'm going to draw Greyhawk, and I think some of you know me by now, I'm going to put down Greyhawk. Okay, I'm going to put down something special.
I love this, just like London Bridge in the 1600s.
Just like well, and part of the reasoning behind this is it's a major road. We've got a lot of traffic going across this thing, and we've got a town with a population problem. So to me, they would use the bridge just like London did.
Yeah.
And I love the dynamic of that, right? So we've got all of these buildings hanging on the edge of the bridge. I think it ends up being this. I don't think I've ever done that actually on any city map prior to this one. So I think it kind of looks cool and adds a little bit of, I think with the logging industry, the elves and the dwarves that have kind of been pushed off to one side. Parts of the wasteland, the area around is a little bit barren because it's been deforested. I think it starts to have its own little personality,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I used two, just so everyone knows too how I work. If there is any level of canon pre-established, I'm going to use it. Okay, you have to pay homage. You have to doff the cap to what people have done before. You must. And there were 2 maps of one from before. One was like a 2001 magazine, which was. You may have that, right?
Give me a second.
Which, in all fairness, was a lot smaller. Was not a city of 20,000. And another was a fan art piece that was out there. That was a nice piece, but it didn't show any of the details or anything.
There you go.
But here's the I think it was 2001, something like that. So, but this is in print, right? So I've tried to take elements of this and incorporate them in mine, at least to go, I got you. The guy that did this map, I have this. And this
2000
from Robert Lee. Well, did you say 2000?
Yeah.
So this was my inspiration for Old Wamptham on my map. So outside of the keep, I've got like this extra little expansion, the first expansion of Wamptham. That's from Robert Lee. And so I'm hoping that Robert feels like his work has been carried forward, and that's what I'm trying to, and I'm going to do this on all of my Greyhawk maps. If it's out there, I'm going to incorporate it. I'm not going to just like throw everything out. That's not how I work. And I'm going to just pour stupid detail, because that's what I do. Stupid detail, trademark, into my maps. Anna renders hers and then gets in with painstaking, splat maps and everything. I do it with ink on paper sets.
Both styles complement each other.
Yeah, that's
which
awesome.
is because this style is so good for Wow, like, well, I have an adventuring party, and there's nothing detail. Look, I can have them purchase this building here. I can describe what happened, and that's what you do with the Appreciate Greg box set in the past, because not everything's documented on it, right? Not every building you don't know what every single building is, and that's how you develop a campaign in a city as a DM, and you can do that here. If someone's not playing and adventuring in this city right off the bat, they're foolish, because there's so much detail here. And look at this. You got an amphitheater over here too, right?
Well, I try to stay away from outright amphitheaters, but there could be an amphitheater, or it's more of your, the acting sort of theaters and things like that.
Okay.
But honestly, it's whatever you want it to be,
Yeah.
right? Someone actually, I think it was one of my patrons, someone on my YouTube channel said, a city of 20,000, they'd probably have some entertainment. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I need some entertainment. So I just built in a couple of theater-like areas of a fairly nondescript nature. I resisted the temptation to put the Colosseum in here because it is just 20,000. Like, there's another one. Yeah. Now, it also, like, one of them does have a barracks, right? So I built in a whole barrack area here.
Yep. It's awesome. This would be fun to build a Dwarven Forge. When I build a city there, Wargaming, I build a piece of a city. Now, I mean, oh my gosh, it just, can you imagine? Now you're going to tempt me here. So
I will promise you, anyone that does get this map in high res, and on my Patreon, end of this month, I'm going to release the ink work, and a month later, I'm going to release the color work.
Good. That's awesome.
At a certain pledge level, Jay, you're at this pledge level. I'm going to give you the PSD as well.
Nice.
But I'm going to give you high res files for this stuff. Okay, like high res, big files.
Beautiful.
You're going to be able to zoom in and look at potted bloody plants on doorsteps type of shit. I promise you, for months, if not years to come, you're going to be seeing new stuff on this all the time. That's just the way I work with my maps. So I think it came out looking really good.
It's awesome.
Like I feel like it's my first soiree into the Greyhawk world.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that this is pretty good. Like, this fully colored is going to knock your socks off, by the way, folks. It really is.
Yeah. And this is set for everything. It's set for, as a DM, everything you need to develop. As long as you know the surrounding area, you know the backstory of the area, you're good to go. You're good to go here. You got everything you need here now to run a city campaign.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and if you're not into Greyhawk, I mean, that's cool, but what's wrong with you?
Exactly.
But it's like, I'm going to give you the named or labeled and unlabeled versions as well. So if you just need something cool and it's fairly generic, I think this is it.
Looks like Anna's shield here.
Yeah, it is Anna's shield, because Anna and I, we're a team. She gives me Anna gives me all of the advice on these cities, so I'm pointed in the right direction, gives me the heraldry. And I think we'll probably do this. The compass rose and everything are obviously work in progress, but it will all be legit. It will all tie back to Anna's staff.
So the answer to that, Troy, is I am going to suggest, I suggest with Gary, hopefully Gary's on, a Wantham Post Fest that gets published. That's what I would suggest now that this is done. Okay? Yep. That's my suggestion to the community on Cannon Fire. Get a post fest going and get all sort. You got the locations to be written up. Now let's get some content filled in this. I think that would be a great idea.
I do have some POIs that came from the fan piece that I've added to this map, but there's so
sparse
much that could be added.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. Actually, so talking of which, is this a good time to throw out what should we do next?
1 second. Yes, I want to. I want to put one thing up, and that was Wargaming said build with Dwarven Forge. No, that's $10 million building this with Dwarven Forge. Here is,
and you need a big a basketball field size.
Yeah, Gary agrees. This is Altamira on my table. There you go. That's 2 blocks. I mean that just to show, and this is an 8x8 table, just to show you how much you can build on a city area on a block. So note that it is and this is good reference for me for doing the city and developing around that too. But just note that this is not to be not everyone can do this stuff. This is all 3D prints.
Like Anna said, you need a gymnasium. And you'd have to come in like Mission Impossible style on slings.
That's
just
true.
To move your middies.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You realize that the city Altamira will be 5,000 inches across
so,
in this scale.
What's the scale? On my table, 1 inch is 10 feet because it's miniatures rules.
Oh, okay. So then it's only 2,000 inches then. 2,500 inches.
Well, if it's 8 foot. Right, is that it for a mile?
I mean, Altamira is
5,280 feet, 1 mile across, so it's 5,280 feet and inches across, 5,280 inches across, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
If it's a round.
And if they're asking about warmth them, actually, Jay, go up to the scale bar.
Yeah.
That I've done. Actually, down to the bottom right. I did a little scale bar.
And this is in feet. My guess is this is 2 miles across.
And meters, Jay. Feet and meters.
Oh.
Don't you know? Looking after our European friends.
So this looks like this is 1/8 across. So this is 8,000 feet across. So it's a mile and a half.
Yeah.
Is that
I don't
right?
know, whatever the scale bar shows.
Roughly.
Actually, I dialed that into to actual building sizes.
Right.
On actually Anna and I's last stream that we did last Friday, I dialed in the scale just to make sure everything was lined up. So whatever that scale is, that's the scale.
Okay.
That it wasn't that insightful. Fantasy mapping show. Whatever the scale is, that's the scale. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, we had a fun discussion about that last week. That was funny.
So, Alyssa, these are taking. Let's be realistic. 9 months each, roughly.
No. Each one of these maps, 3 months. Every 3 months, I'm doing a map.
Well, okay, with colorization and getting it out and high res.
Every 3 months, I'm doing a map.
Okay, wow,
fully colored.
Oh my gosh!
This was only about 24, 26 hours of ink work.
Okay,
something like that. There'll be about 20 hours of coloring on it, and I'm already moving on to the next one. You guys are going to tell me which one we're doing next.
Right.
I'm going to consult with Greyhawk Online. We're going to pick one. I'm moving on already. Every quarter, every 3 months, a new Greyhawk city map, this detailed.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's going to be awesome, guys.
Yeah, it is.
Super pumped.
Absolutely.
Because I do progress. I do YouTube videos as I work on this stuff. I give you progress reports on through my Patreon channel. Occasionally to the masses, I'll throw something out there. Every time we do the fantasy mapping show, I do a progress report, and Jay shows you exactly where I'm at in super high res. It's going to be fun, and we're going to do this all the time now.
Yes.
Forever.
Yep.
Yes, we got this thing rolling. We got it rolling. Yeah. The whole shebang is rolling here, and
Anna has been trying to get me to do city maps forever, and she finally got me.
Yes. And we're going to get you too. So we're going to keep this. We're going to keep everything rolling here. Yeah, it's great. It's exciting.
I basically see about a month, 6 weeks of ink work, about a month of coloring. While coloring is going on, I'm moving on to my the next ink.
Okay.
I think that's going to be basically the pattern.
Fantastic.
Every 3 months.
Yep.
All right. So Anna, tell the audience the one you said would be the best one.
Well, we had two. You said
go with
blue.
yours. I'll go with mine. Which one was yours?
I said in Spa was my suggestion as a kind of a fun city with a quirky character that has some little bit of details from the Gord books and stuff, but not much. Meaning what we know about Inspa from published sources, it's maybe one sheet of paper. That's roughly it, what we know about it, not much more, but there's a plenty of cool character in that city, and I thought it would be kind of a
and
cool
Jay's slow on the draw here. I should have kept the map open, the Greyhawk area map here. Sorry. Boom, boom, boom.
Inspa definitely does have a lot of character to it.
Yeah.
That would be a cool one. Just from the description alone,
there we go.
That would be fun.
Inspa.
Yep.
I also think, just to one side, I think it'd be kind of cool not to do another town or city that is also a town or city directly on a river, you know, and we end up cloning a lot of the same properties.
Yeah.
And InSpa definitely is not one of them, and I like that.
Here's my suggestion.
The ocean?
Blue.
That's an easy one. I can do that.
Blue.
Oh, blue.
Yep.
Okay.
A pirate haven. Not a lot of detail on it. We Reaper Miniatures coming in with a raid. It's Frank and Ann, I'm assuming. Great to see you, and what a wonderful sponsor Reaper is. Good to see you there. The Fantasy Mapping Show. We're cranking it out. Thank you so very much. You are all. You know, I love you guys so much.
Awesome.
Yep. We're talking about everything that's going on here. We're talking about Ann and Alyssa's fantastic mapping. Yeah, and it's great to see you. So my suggestion here is blue, and the reason is even a Slavers reference doesn't touch it like it should. It just gets, and it's a port. It's a pirate port. We need high port is just like Gary. You agree with me? The high port map sucks, but I don't think Alyssa should redo the high port map now because it exists, right? We need a map that's not ever been done, and I think that this one would be really good to do just because.
I think Aaron Froki did a much. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Anna. You started.
I was going to say Aaron Froki did a map of Highport that is much better than the other published map. So there is a better option for Highport than the.
Yeah. Oh, Aaron Froki's maps is way better. I agree.
Exactly.
I agree 100% there
much,
too.
Much
yeah,
better
absolutely.
than the published sources. But blue, we have nothing on blue.
See, and I like hitting the ones where there's very little or nothing out there, you know, and like I don't wish to seem big-headed or anything, but you've seen my Wantham map. I kind of want to put down a flag and say, that's blue.
From scratch, and that's why I like blue. So what we'll do is we'll figure out a place, and we'll just get some general consensus. Maybe we'll discuss. I know Gary Highport needs some love, but I think Alyssa should do one this time where there's nothing published. Highport already has 2 maps, Froke's map and the one from the Slavers, which is terrible, but it already has it. I think let Alyssa run with something that has nothing, right? That's just my opinion. So what was Eric's name? Looking for the Highport map. Eric Froke. Aaron Froke.
Aaron
Froke, yeah.
Yep.
Go to Cannon Fire Blue. Gary, can you link that, or someone link the Cannon Fire map program that you guys show, and you'll click and it'll be there. So, yep.
I'm seeing 3 high ports out there.
One of them's colorized, and that's Aaron Froke's. Yeah. So those maps on the Cannon Fire site, you can go and you can touch on any city, and it'll have all the maps. I feel
like I've actually done a Highport-like map. You know, and maybe next session I could even bring it up, looking at just how Highport is orientated. I don't know. Things like blue and InSpa seem more interesting.
Gary, Gary just said Calstrand, Anna.
Yeah, Calstrand is another interesting, but it's a
Spell
big metropolis.
Spell it.
KL. Yeah, you see in chat.
KLSTRAND.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's an interesting.
Look at the chat. Yes.
Yeah. It's a capital of United Kingdom of Alyssa. It's a newly become a metropolis. It's the big city. It's one of the fresh upstart capitals of the world.
Here it is.
Run by an evil thief like rogue greedy type, but it's a lot of business, a wealthy city, a lot of new money, a lot of new construction and stuff. It's an up and coming. They want to be an imperial capital. They probably invest a lot of new, cool, fancy buildings, point of interest and stuff like that. It's an up and coming capital that spends a lot of money on wanting to be cool, so to speak, and need it's new money rather than old money in there. So
and it definitely needs some love too. I mean,
exactly. There's nothing on that one either. It's a lot of text about it though.
There's a lot of discussion about it, and you can definitely get a lot from Living Greyhawk too.
Exactly. And those I think, Anna, you get it, right? I want the ones that have a little bit of writing, but has no love. Yeah, let's give it some love.
Yeah, when it comes to Karlstrand, you have a lot of circumstantial stuff. There is a lot about the country, its ruler, its politics and stuff. But when it comes to the detail of the city, nada. but you get a lot of political intrigue. What is the ruler, the ruling class, the economy, stuff like that. You have a lot of stuff, circumstantial stuff. There is very little hard stuff. So it depends on if you like that or not. So yeah.
Yeah, wargaming, Jotsplat's way too remote, and no one's. Carlos used it in an adventure, but it is way too remote to be useful.
That's one of the most remote
Yeah.
outposts. That's like doing a fantasy version of an Antarctic scientific station or something. Yeah, east. Go east and
it's
up
here.
there, northern coast.
Way up here.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah, I think to a degree, it's like we have to do some maps that people want to see, right? And so Jotsplat, maybe Wargaming wants to see it, but you know, where are people adventuring? Where's the majority of people actually at?
Yeah, I think both Inspire and Blue are more frequent places to go adventuring. Yes.
Yeah,
Blue sounds intriguing.
Katano,
like I think honestly, Blue, Karlstrand, Mentre, and
Mentre was
I think
another
all
one.
of these are going to get done at some
Katano, nothing in Len's area. I don't think it's a good idea. I think we should leave Lendor Isle alone for now. You know, with Leonard's.
I'm going to dig into it, but it will. Yeah. I have a plan of attack for next year. Yep.
Okay. So I'm greedy. I use the western side of the map more in the east. That's another reason why. But I just think pirates. Everyone loves pirates. So.
Well, Jay, you are a patron of mine. So, I mean, that gets a +1.
Yes, there's 2.
So is that.
That's it. So once again, you should be. Yes. If by the way, if you want hundreds and hundreds of heraldry shields in the new style by Anna, you join her Patreon. That download was what, 5 gigs, right? Of
no,
shield.
It was 3 gigs.
Oh, I'm sorry,
roughly.
3 gigs.
Only
shields.
3 gigs. 400. It's 389 or something.
Yes,
like 300 something.
Trust me.
Shields.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is awesome. So we will discuss this. I'm assuming Cannon Fire on the chat. We'll discuss it. But you know, we got 3 out there now. Calstrand and Spa and Blue. Are the 3 so far, and we're looking for stuff where people's going to adventure, people are going to utilize that has for this one has little map work, period. So
and little I want to always say little canon in a way,
a little bit.
I don't like little bit is great,
just
and I'll adhere to it, but I don't want to get into a Greyhawk, not yet. Because it's going to slow me down. I'm going to have to start dealing with a lot of war and predefined materials, and it's just going to delay everything. So let's start putting out this type of thing behind me. Like, let's start establishing new stuff. The things that have had no love or very little love. A little bit of like the Inspire. Like Inspire, the description is chef's kiss. Do we have a map? No, the freaking place has aqueducts going to it, built by the gnomes. That to me screams map. Let's hit those types of places, or the pirate hold of Blue, right? Let's do those.
Of course, Bones.
The places that have had no love. Let's here on this channel establish what these cities are now. We're going to create maps together that are going to be the map for these locations moving forward. No one else is going to be able to challenge them. Okay, we're going to do this together.
Yep, I agree 100%, and that should excite the entire community. Just to note that, but we do need, my opinion, and Gary put his finger up. We need a post fest for Wampton to fill some of these locations. What about the fortress? What about the actors, or what kind of guilds are there, that kind of stuff I'm filling in my city now, that I'm doing for Altamira. What about like the outskirts here, and someone came up with the idea, do people live under the bridge here? All sorts of things you can do, and that's a great the history of the island itself.
Well, actually, so real quick, Jay, like go to the north of the keep, like right on the northern wall of the keep,
Yeah, right here.
So
Oh,
right
the elven.
there.
Yeah.
So here's an elven complex because the elves were here first. So
Yep.
clearly, is this an elven ambassador that have allowed to stay within the walls here? And Jay, if you go to the right of this just a little bit, we're going to see a dwarven complex. And the question is, so what are these settlements like? In the dwarven complex, yeah, right there. It looks like a little fortress, Jay.
Right here?
Right to the right.
Oh, here.
The other right, yeah. So, like, what is this dwarven complex? What is this about? Right? And even what are these industries about? Who owns them? What do they do? I think every single building on this map, almost without exception, goes, so what is this about? Who is this?
That's it. Look, and you even have this big statue here.
Exactly.
Great
And
stuff.
there's statues carved on the sides of the bridges too.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying. What I'm doing is I love to give you guys seeds, and I'm picturing it in my head. Like I'm coming up the river to Wamptham. I'm going against the current. I can see Wamptham mostly on the right. This big bridge going overhead. That sprawl going out to the left, and statues on the bridge looking down with a shield and a spear. Tell me about those statues. What am I looking at?
Absolutely.
What is this fortress on the island here? I mean, I want to hear it. I haven't written it.
Yeah, it's such a great way to finish up. Once this get colorized along, you'll have everyone get. It's just you can even start on it now because you have the detail. You have enough from this, but just. And that finishes off. That's like the icing on the cake. And Alyssa feels good about doing all this. Right?
I'm pumped, man. We're going to be doing one of these every 3 months.
Yes.
We're just going to boom, 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 boom. And they're going to all have this level of love, attention, and detail. Every single one.
Stress one more time. If you want the high resolution map of this in color, you need to be on the Patreon, correct?
Correct.
There you go.
Get on my Patreon, okay? I think it's just a $5 tier. You're going to get the progress reports. You're going to get early access to the videos, and you're going to get the black and white and the color version, okay? Just a $5 freaking tier. If you want though the Photoshop file and everything, just $10. Every 3 months you're going to get this.
And then just buy it annually, and it's a little cheaper too, if I recall.
Buy it annually, it's even freaking cheaper.
And then
and everyone's going to get this love. Everyone right here.
And then if you get on Anna's, you get all those shields. And if you haven't seen the shields yet, then I don't know what's wrong with you, right? The shields are here. Let's just throw 1 or 2 out here. So I'm going to open up here. I'm going to show you this. Where do you see this? I'm going to come here. Hopefully you don't see any.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Porn links here. This is. I look at this. I have every adventure. I have so much shit on here. So we're going to go to heraldry work. We're going to go to Greyhawk Anna. Oh my gosh! Look at all these. Here they all are. It's yeah. This is from the latest download. Now some of my special stuff that Anna's done for me is in a separate folder. This is for the entire Greyhawk, right? Anna, this is all the shields.
Yeah, it's all the standard we are used to, and then there's a lot of stuff I've added that on my map, and then there's a bunch of them from my campaign too that added in there too.
Yeah,
as well. And there are also variants on some of them. I have multiple variants too.
Absolutely, but here they are. All the ones you need are here. So here's Wamptham.
Yep.
There you go.
And this reminds, as a kid, you remember the encyclopedias that your parents would get, right, as sets?
Yep.
And we had an encyclopedia set, and there was a color plate or several plates that had heraldry on them. And there were, as a kid, I was mesmerized. Your heraldry brings back that emotion. They're just beautiful. They're beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. I didn't realize that others liked heraldry as much as I do. So it's kind of fun.
Zach, most of the names are published source. All those names, it's all published source stuff. So you have a lot of it this is all published source.
Yeah, not all of them.
All right,
Some of them are my
90%.
campaign.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 90%.
Yeah.
But I've used, but I
Oh, wow, I've
added
never seen this one
fi-
before.
yeah, that one is from Keelland somewhere.
Oh, look at that. I've
From
never seen that
Living
map before.
Greyhawk, Living
Oh,
Greyhawk era. Yeah.
wow.
But take an example, Aldit, the Shield of Aldit, my
Right.
village from
Is
my
it
campaign. It's
ALDET?
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
AU. So up there.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go. That's one that I made up for Aldit, and it's in shield lens. That's why you have the black tower on white at the top. Under is red, the shield in red, and there's flowers because that's one of the things that the town was famous for, was the honey that came from there.
See?
So it's this the symbol is the mountain flowers that they used to that the bees used to make the honey. So that's one of the product it was famous for, was
Aldit honey.
the wonderful hill honey up there. So
Aldit honey, Altamira
Mhm.
kumquats. There you go.
Yep.
See?
Yep. So that was part of it. So that's why I have the flower on the shield there. So
The Anna's world building is done in World Machine as well now. Still, Anna, correct? For the original. Remember, this is all
Well,
free. This is all Greyhawk. This is all Greyhawk. This is all.
well, I
This
use
is this is all Greyhawk.
for my maps, the basic I use World Machine and Gaia are my terrain construction tools.
This is the Greyhawk map that Anna's done from the Free City Greyhawk. That's originally done from the Gary Gygax the 1980 folio for a new DM here. Where's my folio?
Yeah, so this map I started doing
1980.
a bit of. Oh yeah, it's originally the Darlene map that came with that was
You can see
that
all
was
the
the
old shields on
basis, and plus all the other
Okay.
published material over the years I used as base. And this map I started doing in 1998. I started
Illustrator.
working on it, and it took
Yep.
20. It's probably about 7, 8 between 7 and 8 years
Yeah.
of full time work on this map.
This is it's a dedication, Zach. Like I said, you want to stick around the channel more and just get involved in what goes on here. And Greyhawk is such a wonderful place to play. Trust me, you have fun. Plus, we got the Virtual GrowCon coming first week in October. Sign-ups for events are tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a ton of events, streamed and non-streamed. In fact, I probably have Alan Grohe is putting in events too. By the way, Anna, he told me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
on. Yeah, he just was a little behind schedule. So I know. I know we're almost to our time there. So Alyssa, okay.
Hang on a second. I'm just gonna put the links to this because
Please
that
do.
map is available. Hang on a second. I just need to.
Yeah, I haven't checked my email lately to see, but I know he's putting in events. So
copy and damn, why is not doing it? Hang on a second. There we go. No, it doesn't. Hang on a second. I have to type it in. Hang on a second. Get it.
So I just got an email that Josh says I got. Josh Pop said I got, and it's some really good news, everyone. I'm afraid to open up the email on the machine, but according to Josh, Luke Gygax is going to participate in the Grand Joust of Altamira during Virtual GrowCon.
There you go.
Awesome.
With Smelf, with Eliador, yes. So that was just Josh just told me via Discord. I haven't opened up that email yet. So yep, there are 6 open slots for. And if you want to watch Luke play last Saturday night, he played with the Slavs on my channel. Just go to the vids. What a great game that was. And he's also in for more Slav games, which is awesome. And of course, Josh says to me here, what's he say? He doesn't say congrats. He goes, just don't screw up now. Thanks, Josh.
Yep.
So,
and I could mention to others that Greyhawk map, you can download this for free. All that my material is available for free, and you can even download the raw material, the Illustrator file, if you want to make your own version.
Yeah, you took So
so even that is available. So yeah.
Troy, I'm gonna have a bunch of VIPs. I'm gonna ask. I have 6 slots for signups, and I'll have a bunch of VIPs. I'm going to ask. I got a couple confirmed. So oh my gosh! And here comes Prometheus. Dwayne, good to see you. Good to see you, Dwayne. Hopefully you had a good stream. Hopefully things are going well. So, all right. So, what do you think in closing here before we do shout outs for this discussion today? Alyssa, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
Yes.
Well, like what have I got coming up next? Well, I'm going to start working on the ink of the next Greyhawk map, and I guess we're going to figure out what that is in the next week or so. I'm going to finish up the Chaosium Gaslight London map this weekend, and I'm going
Awesome.
to ship that off to them, and that's a glorious, glorious, glorious piece. And then I'm actually going to start working on my 2022 version, or 2023 actually, by the time this releases, of my cosmology of role playing. I did the original for Gygax magazine #1. It had maybe 100 game titles on it. I'm releasing one with over 1,000 game titles on it. It's going to be this massive, massive, massive cosmology map. We're going to start seeing that on the next shows over the rest of this year. So those are the main things that I'm working on. I think that's a pretty full plate. I'm okay with that.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about, we're all getting together again next week too. I'll be talking about that in a second here. As I'm trying to put up everything. And of course, everything is out of order because I'm a dummy. Oh, not really. Okay. Because, I'm trying to repopulate. So, well, that's cool, Alyssa. And we're really looking forward to everything and all the collaboration that's going on with the community. I guess we can officially say welcome 100% to the Greyhawk community because it's so vibrant and growing. And we know WotC did not announce anything Greyhawk except for using the name Bigby in one of their things for 2023. So we got another year reprieve, right?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That's good, Anna says.
But you know what? You know what, though? By the time WotC comes in, Anna and I would have laid down so much top-tier stuff, WotC's not going to be able to compete.
No.
They're not.
Plus we got permission from WotC for our Altamira box set to put out a supplement that's free download that places everything that Altamira is in Greyhawk. So hey, that's good. So we're not worried at all. So things are going well. So Anna, what do you think? What do you got going on?
A lot of things. The first thing that will come, I just put up the release candidate for the 2022 edition of the 598 maps. For those who haven't been looking at my maps that much, there's a 576 map that was the original version of the Greyhawk setting that came out with a box set, the folio, and then there's a 598 map that have the same setting but at a later date after the wars and the Living Greyhawk campaign and stuff, the 598. Now I worked several years on the 576 map. The first one was 598 because my campaign was in it, and then people said, oh, you need to make it 576, and that way I dropped the ball on the 598. Now that one 598 coming out in a new version, updated version, so with a lot of corrections, additions and stuff like that. That one is now out on the release candidate. There will be a couple of changes and stuff on, but Monday I'm going to release the final version of the 2022 and get it out. And there will be JPEG first day, and then there will be PDFs and easy zoom and stuff like that during the next week. So next week, the 2022 edition will be done of the 598 map, and that will be wonderful. That's been a 6 months project getting that through out the door. Always, my projects always seems to balloon and be bigger than I thought. So that one is coming out. Then my mid-tier patrons will start getting some love in the fact that there will be a bunch of campaign material coming. There will be a long description with maps and the studied out of the Aldit. We saw the heraldry of Aldit. Now I've written a little bit about the description. Now comes the full description of the village, every building and who lives there, and you get the backstory, you get the town map and stuff like that. Will be there, and there will be some Iusian specialty monsters: the Skull Crow, the Skull Raven, and the Skull Murder. Those are Iusian monsters that I've used in my campaign. They will come with the art, and they will come with stat blocks and some descriptions. So that is coming very, very soon. And then there will be more maps of the, after that, there will be more campaign material on the Dragonhide Caves, but my party is in there, so I don't want to spill the beans on that part yet. So,
especially when you're
so that's why it takes a while, because the party needs to have explored something, because I don't want to put all the spoilers for everyone to see before the party has done it, so to speak. So as the campaign move forward, locations they've been to and wandered through, they will come out. So there's a whole bunch of cool content, and about 1,000 square miles is being mapped of the southern shieldlands at the same scale that we saw in Altamira. 1,000 square miles is in the works there. So there will be plenty. That's my test area, so to speak, to see that technology works. And there were some kinks in the beginning, but now I've ironed them out in the past 2 years. And that means that's why it was good to have those kinks iron out when you start doing commercial projects like Altamira. Then things need to be on a budget and within time, so to speak. So now we have that to look forward to. And that will be really cool. And my top tier patrons will get some look into the Blackmore updates and some more planetary ideas and concepts that I will start laying out this fall too, that my top tier patrons get some lightings. And there will be a presentation on the $50 tier, meaning, do you want me to do what I do for Jay, meaning you want a custom version of the map that you want to hire me for some hours every month to do work for you as a commission, so to speak, as a Greyhawk, to work on a special customized version of Greyhawk. There will be a tier for that, but that one is filling up even before I've announced it. I have a lot of people on the short list, and people that are on the short list, they will know what date and time I will publish that tier and make it available and fight for it. And then it will go out to the general public.
And it only has so many hours in a month.
Exactly. So I will put 10 tiers. This will be a 1-year experiment. I will put 10 tiers, 10 slots in there for 5 hours of work per month. That will keep me busy for a week per year and per month and for a year. And then I will do an evaluation of it after 1 year, so I don't commit longer than a year, so to speak. And then we will see if this works or not. But I think it could be fun and cool. Yeah. And you can also collaborate between each other if you want me to work on something like, oh, he's doing it and I want that done too, and that way you can kind of share the burden. So there's a lot of synergy effect, so to speak, that can be done. So that is coming up too. So those are the and there will be next Friday there will be no mapping live stream because we have the Cthulhu game next Friday.
Yes, so, and I'll go over that in a second here. Wrong button.
And I can say a few words on my game at Virtual GaryCon. I can say a few words, and that will simply be, we will play a session of my ongoing campaign, and we will invite, there will be 2 people plus a VIP guest on the show in the game, so to speak, and you will have pre-gens. We will run a session 0, either non-streamed or streamed, we will see, to prep and get you in and so you know the situation, and you will basically play some sort of NPC and stuff in my campaign. And as one of the bonuses, if you like to play in my campaign, that might be an entry, because there are, one of the cool things is there are open seats future in my campaign. So you get in on it if you like to play with us and in my campaign, then you can continue to play afterwards, so to speak. So the character levels will be 4th level of that's where we are at the moment. And so I will try and have as much fun combat and stuff.
First live stream Anna's going to do playing, which would be pretty awesome. So, all right. Sunday night, no Saturday night stream this week. Last week was Luke and the Slav. So I haven't done this in 2 years. I looked back. It was like Gavin 99, Anna. So we're over 200 now. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to revisit Narwhal, talk about the headhunters and the surrounding area of the Wild Coast, which a lot has been developed in my campaign.
Interesting.
Yes, so that's where you and I are going to do that. And we'll see if anyone else wants to join us, but that's what we're going to talk about on Sunday.
I have some theories on my Wild Coast too, so we can dig into as well. Yep.
That will be Sunday night. Next week, 4 streams: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday again next week, with an off chance of a Saturday. All right, so we don't have a Legends of the Lord topic. We're going to continue the first level adventure welcome initiates. That should say the 25th. That is next Thursday. Then next Saturday, here it is. The Call of Cthulhu game. Hopefully that's the right button there. Yep, there it is. Call of Cthulhu live stream, where good old Matt Ryan is going to game master for Zach, Alyssa, Anna, and me. Second time I've ever played Call of Cthulhu. So, and that'll be here. It'll be from 8 to 11 here Eastern.
Matt Ryan is the cartographer for Chaosium.
Yes.
And he's incredibly talented. And Zach Glazer is the CEO of Fucker Games. So you want to be here for
Thank
that.
You very much, Shattered. Stop saying Cthulhu. That's funny. So then next Sunday, John Birchfield from Blue Box will be here, and I'm going to talk. This may sound like I don't want to say dumb topic, but you all do this.
Yeah.
Home brewing in a published setting. And we get a lot of people go, I'm worried about ruining canon and getting everyone on my ass, right? And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about what John's doing with Altamira in his aired game, because that's where it's going to be placed. And I'm going to talk about what I do with my stuff and the trouble I've had for years with Greyhawk, but it's really not trouble. Cleveland Express, good to see you, and thank you for the follow. Yep, you're in. I got you in. You're in on the drawing. I saw it. Yeah, you're definitely in. And that'll be next Sunday. And I think that's it. Now here's the highlighted stream schedule. We'll go over this real quick. The sessions have been filled, by the way. These open sessions have been filled. Rob Phantom has filled them both with Troller Game Organized Play. All right, so they're filled. Both the ones that it says open, they're filled. So as you can see, we got a whole bunch. We got a Maps and Campaign of Anna Meyer that Friday night, 5 Eastern. Okay, during Virtual GrailCon, it's the first weekend. So, yeah. And hey, Tombstone, good to see you. A lot of good stuff. Steven Chenault's DMing. We got unbelievable stuff. The main event is the Rescue of Our Mind, Blue Box, Day 2. Here's the Grand Joust I'm talking about. Looks like Luke Gygax is in, playing Smelf, the son of Melf in the Joust. Oh my God, it's going to be exciting. Chuck Cumbo's running a rare adventure, Jim Ward's Tomb of Doom here. Tim, the ever mysterious Tim's running a reverse dungeon in the morning. These are all, you can sign up for these, yes. Prayers Rejects is running a Keep on the Borderlands take. There's all sorts of great things going on. We also have Stephen Chenault hosting a seminar here as well. And then Sunday, the early morning session was filled by Rob. Meyerhawk Shieldlands, here it is, 11 a.m. Eastern. So that's 10 Central. Okay? That's the one with the 2 open slots, Superior Ventures Guild, and then the SD Experts, which is it's usually the biggest stream of the entire con, where Eric Moen is already confirmed, and Malden, and Joe Block and Eric Boyd are 90% in right now, and we may get some other, and you can ask them whatever you want about Greyhawk. So, and that's Virtual GrailCon, and like I said, it's a $5 nominal fee to sign up. I know you can't do it via PayPal, which sucks, but credit card's required there. There's also the shirt, T-shirts, all sorts of other things. That is what's going on. Let's do the giveaways. Yeah, Alyssa, maybe we'll have you playing a joust.
Yeah,
I'd be down.
Yes.
To knock Luke off his horse?
Yeah, and guess what? You already have a paladin. We can play your paladin. Your paladin fits right in.
I'll play my gorgeous paladin.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, who took on that anti-paladin and won that last time. So, yeah, Joe Block Swords.
With help from the party.
Well, of course. That's the great thing.
But yeah, I'm down. I'm going to knock everyone off the horse and become champion. Prediction. You heard it here first.
Wow, that would be really cool. Yeah, last winner was Von Moku. Michael Mossberger won with Matthew Barnabas of the Blinding Light, and that was last time we did that was during Greyhawk Con 2021 virtual. So I have not GaryCon. I have not run ones for a year and a half. One of these, so I'm glad to hear Mitch you got the shirt. That's awesome, and I'm glad you like it. Yeah. I'm sorry I don't have. It is an ode to Len Lakofka. I have plenty of them in all sizes. Is there a line on the joust yet? No. So here's the deal. There's 6 open slots, but last time we did it, I think I accommodated 2 on the wait list. 12 noon Central sign up start. But you have to be registered. Don't register at noon. Register now. Register in the morning. Make sure you're already registered. Don't register and sign up, because my guess is the joust seats will be gone within 5 minutes. My guess is Anna's seats will be gone within 5 minutes. There's a lot of things in demand, but just that's my suggestion. There's 60 some events.
And the Joust was so cool last time, and there's so many other games that are fantastic. So
Yes.
spread out your love here.
Plus,
Yep.
Duncan Joustley, the Cromulent, will be doing the announcing again.
Oh yes. Oh,
Yes,
so
so
good.
it'll be a
Yep.
fun time. Yeah, and Tino, yeah, absolutely. Just hop
Mhm.
on, and at that time, 12 noon Central. Okay. All right. Last call for giveaways. 2 $25 gift certificates to Frog God Games. All right. Get whatever you want with these gift certificates. I will immediately email them to you, or whisper them to you, or Discord them to you, depending on who wins. Last call. All right, let's close this out. All right, Zump, you're in, man. Good to see you. Thank you for the support tonight, too. Yes.
If you win one of these, by the way, folks, consider putting it towards Necropolis. I got my contribution copy recently. It's a gorgeous book. It really is. You should get Necropolis.
And that was just done with the Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's an insanely good looking book.
Awesome. Here we go. Closing this out. I'm trying not to close this out and close the entire thing like a dummy. La 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 commands. No, it's a remake though of the old Gary mod. It's redone. I think with a lot of new stuff. Here we go. The winner is first winner, Sparky. Sparky, winner number 1. As long as he's on to claim. Sparky, is he on to claim? I see Sparky in chat. I see Sparky in chat listing, so which means he's on. He's there. Next winner. Gitano, Grindelwolf. Congrats, Gitano. You earned it and deserve it. So, yep, Gitano, Gitano's even got a first on his, which means he's one of the first 25 subscribers ever to this channel. So, there, look at that first. Founder, 40-month subscriber. Gitano, thank you so very much. Awesome. I have both of your Discords. I will get you those codes. And just remember, we give away stuff every stream, everyone. Every stream we give something away. I have 7 sponsors, so we have plenty of stuff to give away. All right. We're going to raid into the Mandy, part of the Slav Squad. Alyssa, Anna, thank you for a great discussion tonight. This was awesome.
Thank you, Jay. And thank you everyone in chat who came and asked all the cool questions and hung out with us. That's awesome. Thank you.
We will thank you, and thank you all. Like I said, this will be on another month, but like I said, next Friday, tune in and watch us all die in a Cthulhu adventure. So see you all soon. See you Sunday night for a great discussion in Greyhawk with Anna and me. Have a good one.